Just started university, and my beautiful tutor turns out to be the mother of my child. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 801 Wedding Arrangement. Soon, Sanbeo also stood up and forwarded Erbeo's two dynamics. Then, it was Sibeo, and finally Dabeo, who is rare, also forwarded it. The meaning couldn't be clearer. Zaya Abeo, their sister, don't move. Soon, the posts about Zaya Abeo's yin and yang disappeared, and the person also deleted the post. Netizens laughed and said, haha, believe it or not, they dare to do it next time. If there is a next time, Erbeo will definitely keep his word and make people go to jail. Soon, someone stood up and said, there was no invitation from Shangzia Ocean's crew at all. This magical team, good actors are not cultivated, but they do these things every day. In a blink of an eye, the filming for half a month ended, and Zaya Abeo successfully gained weight. When she left, she bought a lot of small gifts for everyone, and gave the leading actors of the crew what she thought was appropriate. For example, the actress gave a facial mask, gave the other party a favorite style of jewelry, etc. The actor gave tea house, and ornaments. She was also very generous and gave the director a watch worth 300,000 yuan. The price of this watch is 300,000 yuan, but the internal price is not so much, and Raymond Lam does not wear it. There was a time when Raymond Lam liked a watch, and several children gave it to him. How could he wear it all? It happened that Raymond Lam put this one in his bag, so Zaya Abeo took it out to do favors. I hope we can work together again in the future. It is better to be reluctant to sacrifice the child than to catch the wolf. Dad, when I make money from secret assassination, I will buy you a better looking and more expensive watch. Okay. After the filming was completed, Raymond Lam took Zaya Abeo home in the nanny car. There was only 1 month left before Dabeo got married. After returning home, the script of secret assassination had been revised many times, and the logical problems had been solved. Next, it depends on the revision of the screenwriter. After the new year, we can start shooting. Zaya Abeo rubbed his chin and grinned at Raymond Lam. Dad, how much money do I have now? Raymond Lam asked, what do you want to do? When Zaya Abeo was 1 year old, there were several million on the card, not to mention the New Year's money given by his brothers and sisters, relatives and elders every year. In addition, Zaya Abeo is still receiving dividends from his previous dramas. In short, there is a guaranteed minimum of 50 or 60 million, but Raymond Lam hasn't calculated the exact amount yet. Zaya Abeo smiled, I want to invest in this drama. Raymond Lam agreed with both hands, sure, do whatever you want. Investing is definitely more profitable than acting, and he also hopes that Zaya Abeo will have a wider path. So, Zaya Abeo temporarily invested 10 million in Secret Killer. The director and screenwriter are the same person, which makes things easier. Seeing that the end of the year is approaching, Raymond Lam, as the boss of many industries, is also very busy. But it's just a busy year at the end of the year. That day, Raymond Lam drove his own private plane and took his family, big and small, to the private island to start arranging the wedding. Next, this flight will be hard. According to the requirements of the two young people, they invited relatives and friends, without extravagance and media. Therefore, in addition to Raymond Lam's relatives and friends, there are also excellent employees in his own store, as well as store managers and managers. Kaixia has a foundation for so many years, so there are also many people. On the first day of arrival, the wedding boss and employees came first. Erbeo, and her husband's family. Sibeo, Zhuan Jiai and her parents, and a few friends all arrived. Lin Feng's family, Lin Jiajin, Lin Rui, Lin Xiaolin's family, and several managers under his name, etc. Sanbeo and Xiaoyuan will arrive by plane later, probably in a few hours. Then, a private plane will fly to Beijing to pick up the bride. The children are older, Erbeo can arrange these things clearly, and she inspects the work like a queen. Sibeo and Zaya Abeo also have jobs, doing what they can do. For example, inflate balloons, put up posters, etc. In the kitchen, everything is left to Lin Feng, Zhang Yuxi to greet guests, etc., doing what she least wants to do. 3 hours later, Sanbeo, Xiaoyuan, their friends, and a strange beautiful girl came. This time, Sanbao brought a few ordinary-looking suitcases, and everyone thought there were only wedding dresses and other things in them. When Sanbao was sorting, Erbao, Xiaobao and Zhang Yuxi came over, all curious about what kind of wedding dress it was. Sanbao also helped Erbao to make her wedding dress, and it is still preserved. Keisha chose her own wedding dress, which has smooth and clean lines and a simple style. It is very beautiful and suits her. The highlight is not this, but the laurel wreath borrowed from a collector. Sanbao opened it for them to appreciate. Even the mother and daughter, who have seen a lot of jewelry, couldn't help but sigh. It is so beautiful. Words can't describe its beauty. If you are a woman, you should want to own it. In addition, there is a set of jewelry, which was also taken from a collector. The necklace and earrings are so beautiful that people can't take their eyes away. Zhang Yuxi sighed. I finally understand why women are so obsessed with jewelry. She actually has a lot of jewelry, but because of the nature of her work, she can't wear luxury and has to be low-key. These jewelry of hers will be left to her children in the future. It has been a long time since I was moved by jewelry. Xiaobao looked at it eagerly, but soon lost interest. It's just some stones, boring. Sanbao smiled, put away the safe, and locked it in the cabinet again. This is very valuable. If it is lost, the loss of money is a small matter. The big deal is that it will cause a big commotion in the future. Lin Feng was watching in the kitchen. These chefs were hired by Erbao. They were all hired by famous hotels. Their cooking skills were naturally impeccable. He just went to take a look and learn a few dishes. After walking around, he saw Sibao and Zhuanjia busy inflating balloons, one inflating them and the other tying them. The two were talking and laughing. He pricked up his ears and heard that they were talking about their wedding. Lin Feng left quietly and saw Erbao. At this time, a middle-aged woman hurried over to report on her work. The guests were arranged and they were waiting for the remaining guests. This is Erbao's assistant. She has been with her for almost 10 years and is very capable. Erbao smiled. Thank you, sister, you have worked hard. You can rest first. Dabao, Keisha and the others will not be back until the afternoon. There are still several hours. Tomorrow is the rehearsal and other matters. The wedding will officially begin the day after tomorrow. Because of the time difference, it will be held in the evening. The happiest person here is Xiaobao. There are jet skis here, and he asked Sibao to take him for a ride. Later, he found that there were also jet skis for children, the kind with air cushions, which ran very slowly. Yes, the brother and sister started playing like this, and they seemed a little out of place in the busy crowd. Zhuanjiai's parents saw that their son-in-law, who was in his 30s, was still acting like a child, and they were a little worried. Zhuanjiai's mother whispered to her daughter, you should also communicate more with Sibao. You are getting married soon, and you can't be so playful. Her future husband was also actively pursued by her, so naturally she had to be oriented to him. It's okay, he is very good like this, and he can bring me happiness every day. After we get married, the children will definitely be very happy. Don't you think this is good? How to say it, there is still a big difference between Sibao and the image of son-in-law in their minds, but who can stop their daughter from liking him? Gradually, they also accepted Sibao and thought that the child was very good. It's just that, compared with some people, this child seems a little bit stupid. Chapter 802, Fight for the Marriage. 4 hours later. Dabao, Keisha's parents and others finally arrived by plane. The private plane was packed with people. Lin Feng and his wife greeted everyone. You must be tired, there is food in the restaurant, go eat something. Although everyone was tired, they saw that the private island was so luxurious and the scenery was so beautiful. Everyone went to the restaurant first. After dinner, Dabao and Keisha went to try on dresses, makeup, etc. Dabao asked, are the bridesmaids and groomsmen's dresses suitable? Sanbao replied, no, they said they would try them after you come, and if there are any problems, they will modify them tomorrow. The groom's suit fits well and looks very handsome. Although Dabao is usually busy and unkempt, he is a handsome guy. The best man, Sibao, and Xiaoyuang also came out in suits. Compared with the luxury of the groom, they are much simpler. Xiaoyuang needs no introduction, as sunny as always, and his clothes fit him perfectly. Only Sibao, who has a comfortable life, wears a suit that is a little tight, but it is not a big problem. This suit belongs to Dad, let him come and try it on. Lin Feng came over and saw the children. He couldn't help but sigh that it was great to be young. After he changed into a suit, several people sighed, "This old handsome guy is really charming. At the age of over 50, has he taken a youthful elixir?" Sibeo was full of envy. "Dad, when I was 50, I could be in your state. I envy me too." "Go out, who would believe you are 50? You are almost the same as our brother." Lin Feng smiled. In order to maintain their figure during this period, the couple worked hard to lose weight. On the other side, Keisha put on a complete set of bridal equipment, including a set of expensive jewelry. The whole person is already stunningly beautiful without makeup, and her smile is even more noble. Looking in the mirror, I wonder if Tabeo will be amazed when he sees himself like this tomorrow? On the bridesmaid side, in addition to Sanbeo, there are Nia and Zhuanjiai. They also changed into bridesmaid dresses. Except for Zhuanjiai, whose appearance and aura are inferior to the two of them, the three of them are so beautiful. Because of Zhuanjiai's height, Sanbeo's clothes also play to their strengths and avoid weaknesses. Zhang Yuxi wore her mother's clothes, a red long dress, with a good figure and temperament. And Nia praised, "Auntie, you are so beautiful. No wonder the family's genes are so strong." Of course, Zion Abeo also has her own dress, and she is the one who handed over the wedding ring. The dress is a white long dress, which is particularly cute and beautiful. She is very satisfied. This can be worn for any event in the future. In a blink of an eye, it was the next day, and the busy rehearsal began. Dabeo and Keisha were the busiest, and the parents of the bride and groom also had their work. Next to them, several people worked together to lift a piano, and a microphone was placed next to it. This is where the musicians will play that day. After the rehearsal, the next step is to arrange Arbeo, such as after the wedding, everyone will have activities. This is a festival for young people, and Raymond Lam can also participate if he wants to. Because it is held at night, everyone should eat well and rest well during the day to welcome the wedding moment in the evening. In the afternoon, an hour before the wedding, Dabeo wants to see the bride, and he has to make different efforts. Dabeo had a feeling that his wedding would be very lively. After they changed into formal clothes, the guests had rested, and the scene was set up. They all gathered around to watch the fun. The three brides looked at them with smiles, and Anya was a little nervous. Sanbeo took out a piece of paper. "Finish it within 5 minutes, and you will pass the first level." Sanbeo raised the paper in his hand, indicating that he had to finish it within 5 minutes, and only then would he pass the first level. The people around were stunned and immediately started to make a fuss to watch the fun. Some elders laughed so hard, it turned out that young people still know how to have fun. Dabeo looked at this little sister with a smile on his face. "This is how you treat your big brother on this happy day." Sanbeo glanced at his watch leisurely. There are 4 minutes and 45 seconds left. Sibeo, who had been standing opposite and watching the fun, laughed out loud. "Brother, please stop talking. These questions look difficult. You should work harder. Sister-in-law is waiting for you." Erbeo said with a smile, "Oh, these questions can be solved with all our life's knowledge, but we may not be able to solve them in 5 minutes." Sibeo said sarcastically, with a look of gloating on his face. "Oh, wouldn't it be embarrassing if we can't write it out?" Sanbeo smiled faintly and suddenly said, "Embarrassment is secondary. Not getting married is the big problem." The brother and sister smiled at each other. Dabeo shook his head and laughed. Without saying a word, he lowered his head to finish the questions, and nervously pulled his collar. Sibeo whispered in Sanbeo's ear, "To be honest, Sanji, I don't know how to solve some of these questions. They are too difficult." Sanbeo asked him to speak softly because he didn't know how to solve them. One of them is a sports student and the other is a musician. They had long lost these. Erbeo, on the other hand, crossed his arms and looked at the steps to solve the questions. "Brother, write the steps clearly." Dabeo ignored her and continued to write furiously. Thanks to his hard work in the front line over the years, he never fell behind in these subjects because of his work, so he could do them easily. After all, as a scientific master, if he can't even solve such a problem, how can he face it if it gets out? Sanbeo started to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Dabeo put the paper down with a snap. "I'm done." Erbeo was very satisfied. "Not bad, not bad. You just passed the third sister's level. Please complete the next challenge." Sibeo was curious. "What challenge? Do we need us?" Dabeo glared at him. "You are the best man, do you know?" Sibayo's face was embarrassed, knowing that he had to contribute. The second level was a question from Erbayo, asking Dabayo to dance. When Sibayo heard it, he shouted the loudest, "Okay, big brother, do a dance, do a dance." As he got older, Dabayo's personality became more stable. The four brothers and sisters rarely saw their big brother lose his temper. Only on such a happy day as a wedding, they teased him, and they didn't dare to do it at other times. Dabayo frowned, "I can't dance." Erbayo smiled, "I didn't ask you to dance, just twist your body at the right time." Sibayo cheered, "Big brother, come on, big brother, come on." Finally, Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi held their phones and asked their sons to dance. Dabayo wanted Sibayo to take his place, but Sibayo disagreed, "Big brother, you have to do it yourself, so that you appear sincere." Dabayo looked at him coldly, "Then why do I let you be the best man?" Sibayo smiled, "Just to watch the fun, ha ha ha." Dabayo knew what kind of character his younger brothers and sisters were at home, and he sighed resignedly. This was probably his own dark history. But for the sake of getting married, he fought hard. Chapter 803, the top student is dancing, so it's better not to dance. So, he danced to the music, his movements were stiff, and his expression was as if he was ready to die. He made everyone laugh, and he himself felt hopeless. Sibayo clapped his hands, "You dance well. If it weren't for Big Brother's face, I would have kicked you out long ago." Erbayo, who was recording the video, laughed so hard that he couldn't straighten his back. "Big brother, it's okay." Dabayo drank a sip of water and said to the silly smiling Sibayo, "Don't be crazy, wait until you get married." After Dabayo got married, it was Sibayo's turn. Sibayo said, "Come on, I'm not afraid." Dabayo hummed and hawed twice, and faced the next round, the question and answer session. They were all questions about the young couple, and Keisha had written down the answers. As long as they were not too different, it would be fine. For example, when did the two people meet, their first date, etc. 10 questions, answering 5 questions correctly is considered winning. Dabayo won all the way, but didn't answer any questions correctly, and could only add 2 additional questions in the end. These additional questions were obviously shady, ha ha ha. Finally, with everyone watching the fun and Dabayo having decided to put aside his face, he finally got a bride. Keisha was very beautiful today. She saw everything that happened outside from the surveillance screen and laughed so hard that tears came out. She said to Erbayo, "Send me a copy of the video later." The wedding was very dreamy. Under the starry sky, the lights were bright, and everyone gave the most sincere blessings to the newlyweds. Xiaobayo held the wedding rings in her hands. A gust of wind blew, and the little girl unknowingly became a graceful young lady. After the ceremony, the couple toasted. Then everyone played as they pleased, and even Raymond Lam and others had their own attractions. Sibayo and Zhuanjiai, Sanbayo and Xiaoyuan were all set. Erbayo drank champagne, and his secretary came over with a notebook. "The editing is good, send it out." No media was invited to the scene, but Erbayo was not stingy. He selected some photos of Dabayo and Keisha's wedding and posted them online, and did not specifically sell them to a certain company. Erbayo, who knew marketing when he was in school, naturally had some behind-the-scenes footage. "Brother, since you are embarrassed, it doesn't matter if you let the audience take a look." So, behind the beautiful wedding photo, there is a link. At first, no one paid attention to it, thinking it was just a link to the wedding photo. After clicking in, ha ha ha, before I clicked in, I didn't expect it to be so funny. Sorry, big guy, my previous misunderstanding of you is true. You really can't sing, dance or play basketball. This is an idol trainee who has been practicing for more than 30 years, but in the end he still can't sing or dance. It looks so funny. They look so hopeless, their smiles have nothing to do with my sadness or joy. The upmaster in the ghost area can make a living again. Getting married is really not easy. How much fun he has contributed to us by getting married. The wedding photos are very beautiful, and the dancing is very good. Don't dance next time. It starts with appearance, loyal to talent, and loses in dancing. I have thought of the hot search for the next day. It's called student tyrant dancing. It's better not to dance. Please have other videos? Not enough to watch. Same request. When the surroundings were still lively, Raymond Lam and Zhuanjiai's parents sat together to discuss their wedding. The two children have lived together for many years, and both parents proposed to get married, but they were unanimously opposed. They are still young and haven't had enough of their own world, so they have to wait at least 1 or 2 years. This wait lasted until Dabao got married. The two of them only considered getting married, and Zhuan's parents were very grateful to Lin Feng from the bottom of their hearts. Not to mention being in-laws, they were also willing to be friends. Zhuan Jiai's physique that was prone to obesity was improved thanks to Lin Feng. The parents here just said hello and waited for Dabao's wedding to be over before discussing it with the two children. Dabao and Erbao's pomp is here. It is impossible for Sibao to marry Zhuan Jiai, or the woman's dowry will be less. The parents of both parties have known each other for a long time, and these discussions are straightforward. The Lin family has many children, and Lin Feng and his wife will treat them equally. The Zhuan family has only this precious daughter, and they would like to spend all the property on the betrothal gift, but since it is a marriage between two families, it is natural that the gift should be similar to that of the man. This way, both families will look good, and they can give the young couple something slowly when they want to give it later. Compared with Lin Feng and his wife, Zhuan's parents are more traditional in their thinking. They insist that their daughter get married before having a baby. Although Lin Feng's family is not such a family, it will not be good for their daughter's reputation if it spreads outside. Late at night, the young people are still playing, but the older generation like Lin Feng can't stand it and rest early. The next day, the young and the old play their own games. The thrilling projects are played by the young people. Playing mahjong, drinking tea, sunbathing, and beauty treatments are all leisure activities for the elderly. Lin Jiajin, Lin Rui, Yu Zheng, and Lin Feng, the four men, play cards, and the women go for beauty treatments. They are now taking care of their grandchildren, taking their pensions, and traveling around when they have nothing to do. Among the elders in the family, only Lin Feng's parents are still alive. The younger generations will call to greet them during the holidays and send some red envelopes on WeChat from time to time. The two old people are not short of money, and they are most happy with the amount of money in the red envelopes. Although they know that Lin Feng has a good memory and Zhang Yuxi can count cards, they still look for them every time they play cards. Next is Sibao's wedding. Bang! Where do you want to hold Sibao's wedding? It's hard to say. It depends on what they think. After all, young people have their own ideas. That's true, but Dabao's wedding was so grand, how can Sibao's be any worse? They were discussing here, and as his father, Lin Feng was playing cards slowly. They were talking happily here, but Lin Feng said, "I won." The other three looked carefully, all laughed, and gave money one after another. At this time, there was a noise outside, saying that Zhuan Jiai was unwell and vomited. She had been taken to see a doctor. Lin Feng stood up, "I'll go see." He had left, and everyone didn't want to fight, so they followed him to see what was going on. There were many young people, and the relationship between brothers and sisters was good, so Lin Feng and others were blocked outside the door, and they and the people who followed didn't know what was going on inside. Zhang Yuxi saw her husband's figure from the gap between the people and waved. "Lao Lin, come here quickly. Let Jiai see if she has caught a cold." I don't know when it started, but Zhang Yuxi's name for Lin Feng gradually changed from husband to Lao Lin. Maybe most couples will slowly change their names as time goes by. Chapter 804 Morning Sickness. Lin Feng walked over and felt Zhuan Jiai's pulse. Everyone knew that he was a doctor, and if they had any minor ailments, they would go to him. Sibao was wearing beach pants, with water dripping from his head. His usually heartless face was full of worry. "Dad, please take a look at Jiai. Her physique has always been like that of a cow, and she rarely catches a cold. Zhuan Jiai used to be in poor health and took hormone drugs. She was very fat and couldn't lose weight. Thanks to Lin Feng's long-term conditioning, she not only became thinner, but also got better. For so many years, she has not had a cold or fever." Lin Feng knew what was going on as soon as he felt her pulse, and said to Zhang Yuxi, "Let them all go. It's not good to block the air." Before Zhang Yuxi could speak, Erbao smiled and sent them away in a few words. She left the door ajar. "Dad, is Jiai okay?" Zhuan Jiai looked apprehensive, and glanced at Sibao. At this moment, she had thought of her last words. She heard people say that if a person doesn't get sick, it's fine, but if they get sick, it's a fatal disease. Don't look down on people who have minor illnesses all the time, but they don't have any serious illnesses. Lin Feng glared at his son, cleared his throat and said with a smile, "No problem, Jiai is pregnant." Those present were Sibeo, Erbeo, Sanbeo, Jiai, and Lin Feng and his wife. He asked Erbeo to call Zhuan Jiai's parents to discuss the marriage. Erbeo was very happy, as if it was him who was pregnant, and left happily. She and Qin Zhang were the first to get married. They have been together for so many years and have been apart for a long time. Although they have tried hard, their bodies are fine. But it's still late, which makes the couple very sad. Later, after being persuaded by Zhang Yuxi, relatives, sisters, besties and others, they were relieved. Children depend on fate and can't be rushed. As for Sanbeo, she didn't plan to have children privately. Anyway, she is still young, so she will consider it when it's her turn. There's no need to think about Dabeo. They just got married this year. The two said before that they would have children a few years after marriage. Therefore, it is reasonable that Sibeo has a child first. Sibeo was stunned for a moment, pregnant. Zhuan Jiai looked at him. Why, are you unhappy? Sibeo looked at everyone present and hurriedly explained. No, it's just that it was too sudden, and I didn't react. Zhuan Jiai pursed her lips and smiled shyly. Lin Feng told Zhuan Jiai that she was still in the early months and should pay more attention. Zhang Yuxi glared at Sibeo. You are also going to be a father, be more stable and take good care of Jiai. Sibeo nodded repeatedly. Mom, I will do it without you saying it. Although he is a little bit childish, he is still very reliable at critical moments. Zhang Yuxi believes in him. She continued, don't disclose the news of this pregnancy to the public yet. Don't tell the public before March. She gave Sibeo a look that she understood. The parents of the two families just got together, and now they are gathered together to discuss the wedding date. This is a done deal. Both families have extensive connections, and they also find a fortune teller to calculate the date online. Considering that they have the child, the date is chosen 1 month later. The address is still here, and the wedding planning team is still the same one. The team is here, and the Sibeo couple just came to them to discuss the wedding. They don't need to take care of all the affairs, there are people to arrange it. Only a few people know that Zhuan Jiai is pregnant, but some people who know will not publicize it everywhere. At night, Zhang Yuxi tossed and turned, very happy. Lao Lin, I'm going to be a grandmother, I'm so excited. Seeing his wife so happy, Lin Feng couldn't help laughing. I'm going to be a grandfather too. Counting it, they are relatively late to become grandfathers. Grandchildren of the same age are about to go to elementary school. Today, double happiness comes. Zhang Yuxi poured a glass of red wine and didn't sleep, feeling about life. The beginning of an identity is a new chapter. Being a grandmother means entering the next stage. On the second day, the third day, guests left one after another. Anya, who came to be a bridesmaid, also left. Lin Feng and his wife didn't ask about the affairs of young people, and smiled and sent them away. Zhang Yuxi sighed. Anya is a pretty girl. Lin Feng hugged her. In my eyes, you are the prettiest. At this age, the couple has been married for so many years, and some words come out of their mouths, but they come from the heart. Zhang Yuxi's face flashed a trace of unnaturalness, with a smile on the corner of her mouth. There are so many people, you should stop talking nonsense, you are already in your 60s or 70s. Lin Feng. Here, Sanbeo and Xiaoyuan came to say goodbye, they were leaving. Even though they were reluctant, the couple could only watch their children leave. What do you think of this girl Sanbeo? Sibeo will get married next month, and Sanbeo and the others will come back. What does she mean by doing this to Xiaoyuan? Otherwise, you can ask, I guess you can't find out the reason. Let's go over there to see them off. Okay. Originally, Sibeo and Zhuan Jiai planned to leave today, but Zhuan Jiai was pregnant, so she just stayed here until the wedding. Sibeo turned down the work at hand, taking care of his wife while planning the wedding. Xiaobeo followed Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi and was the last batch to leave. As the protagonist of this grand wedding, he left on the afternoon of the second day of the wedding, and went about his own business. Parents should have taken care of their children's weddings. Fortunately, the children are all grown up, and they can do everything well without their help. Back home, everyone is busy with their own things. Zhang Yuxi had meetings as usual, Lin Feng drove his car, and Xiaobeo went to school. Zhang Yuxi, who has always been strong-willed, had the idea of retiring for the first time. I'm going to be a grandmother, I don't want to work, I want to take care of my grandchildren. Lin Feng has always supported her, it's fine if you like it, no matter what you decide, I support you. Zhang Yuxi turned her head and asked, it's fine if I like it, do I need you to like it? Besides, if you don't support me, you are against it? What are you against? Lin Feng has become accustomed to this unreasonable situation, and smiled and changed the subject. Let's talk about a betrothal gift. What should we prepare for our daughter-in-law? Zhang Yuxi used to be a reasonable woman, but now the older she gets, the more unreasonable she is. Like a little girl, she is a little willful and unruly. The children can't see this side of him, and he just performs it in front of Raymond Lam. Over time, Raymond Lam has his own solution. Zhang Yuxi instantly put the retirement issue behind her, sat cross-legged and asked, the bride price must be the same as Zhang Yuxi's. As for the jewelry, I'll sort it out later. I can't favor one over the other. I have to treat both daughters-in-law equally. When she married Raymond Lam, Jo Killen was a good mother-in-law, and there had never been any conflict between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law in the family. But a lot of things happened around her, which made Zhang Yuxi alert that she couldn't favor one over the other and had to treat both equally. In this way, the couple lived a happy life, the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law had a harmonious relationship, and the whole family was happy. She was already so old, and with the nature of her work, gold, silver and jewelry were just like that in her eyes. In the end, it was still to be given to her daughters and daughters-in-law. The couple discussed while Zhang Yuxi took notes. Go to sleep. I'll sort out my own box when I have time. If it's not enough, I'll buy some. After saying that, she put down the notebook and fell asleep. Old Lin, good night, you should go to bed early too. This made Lin Feng feel a little amused and helpless, so he turned off the lights and lay down to rest. Chapter 805 Sibeo's Wedding. 1 month is not long, but it feels like it has not been long. Sibeo's wedding is approaching. Sibeo and Zhuan Jiai's wedding is different from Dabeo's. The main theme is excitement. Dabeo and Keishia have different identities and are low-key. There is no media involvement in the wedding. They rely on the videos posted by Erbao to make documents, and the content is also quite standard. After all, the people who scan the video are all bigwigs. These bigwigs are extraordinary in the academic and technological fields. Not only that, there are some bigwigs. In short, Dabeo's wedding did not make much splash on the internet, but Sibeo's is different. Zhuan's family is a well-known real estate company. Now its status in China is among the top 5 real estate companies. The only jewel in the palm got married, and the media reported it extensively since the wedding broke out. Sibeo is an extrovert and a real sunshine boy. Although he has many championship titles, he is also very low-key. He went back to be a coach, made his own brand of sportswear, and endorsed his own brand. He is not like some champions who have received a lot of commercial advertisements and endorsements after becoming famous. Everyone knows about their love. Many people have watched this couple grow up step by step, hoping that they can achieve a happy ending. Now, as soon as the good news of their marriage was announced, netizens have sent their blessings. Let them believe in love again. Under this premise, all the well-known media companies in the circle were invited, and they could take photos and live broadcasts. Many media thought that although they were not invited, they could squat and shoot outdoor scenes. It's just that the wedding venue is a private island, and no one is allowed to enter without permission. For such a big event as Sibeo's marriage, other brothers and sisters must be present. The newlywed Dabeo smiled with a bit of wickedness. God has his way. Sibeo grinned. Come on. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi looked at Sibeo's embarrassed look and laughed so hard. Erbao saw him scratching his head while calculating the problem, with a mocking look on his face. No, fourth brother, when did you become so rubbish? Zhang Yuxi smiled and whispered the answer to Sibeo. Sanbeo watched the two cheating with a smile, and asked in a fake tone, Zhang Yuxi, what are you mumbling about? Dabeo saw it and said, don't worry, there are still many things waiting for you later. Zhang Yuxi smiled awkwardly and pretended to comfort Sibeo. Fourth brother, although each of us 4 people came up with a question, we all thought of it together, keep going. At this point, under the watchful eyes of the public and with the media present, Sibeo couldn't play tricks. In the end, he was so tired that he wiped the sweat from his forehead and finally got a bride in his hands. His expression was about to cry. He shouted, Jiai, it's not easy for me to marry you. Zhuan Jiai knew what happened through the surveillance and smiled. It's also because my brothers and sisters showed mercy, otherwise with your IQ, you wouldn't be able to pick up the bride after dark. At the beginning, they were quadruplets, 4 academic masters, and the weakest one was Sibeo. Sibeo grinned and whispered, "Jai, you have to help me later. They are coming in full force. It's hard for me to deal with them alone." Zhuan Jai was amused after hearing this and nodded seriously, "Okay, we are a couple." This made the onlookers laugh so hard. The audience watching the live broadcast were no longer surprised by Sibeo's series of behaviors. Ha ha ha, they are indeed a couple. How can they be so funny? They have a good relationship. As an only child, I am so envious. It's simply blatant cheating! Exclamation mark. The bride is so beautiful and the groom is so handsome. I send you my best wishes. I am also getting married this month. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 5 years and finally got married. I came here to get some blessings. I hope all lovers in the world will finally get married. Haha, there are so many people getting married this month. I have received 3 wedding invitations. My wallet. I watch them grow up and watch them get married. It's amazing. The sense of participation is too strong. We are the same age, they got married, and I am still a single dog. I am younger than them, and my child is going to primary school this year, ha ha ha. The comments are very harmonious, and everyone has sent their blessings. After the lively wedding, Zhang Yuxi was so tired that she could only keep smiling, and Lin Feng accompanied her. Both of them felt old. Zhang Yuxi wore a red dress today, with a little makeup, and the whole person was elegant and dignified. Compared with old ladies of the same age, her temperament is much different, and she looks younger. Lin Jiajin, Lin Rui, Yu Zheng, Wang Lu, Sister Yan. Several people sat together drinking tea and chatting, feeling that these excitement no longer belonged to them. Sister Yan saw that Wang Lu wanted to eat the small cake with a high appearance value, and quickly stopped her. "Don't eat this. I just ate a piece and it was so sweet that my throat was bubbling. I still feel uncomfortable now." Wang Lu quickly moved the drink next to her and said, "How about this?" Sister Yan shook her head and said, "It tastes weird. You'll know after you take a sip. Anyway, I don't like it. Young people like it." Wang Lu took a sip and frowned. "There are so many bubbles. It's okay to drink a little, but I get bloated if I drink too much." Zhang Yuxi said, "I don't touch these now. I only drink boiled water. At this age, some bodies don't allow it." Health preservation has become one of the necessary topics they talk about together. Lin Rui has been in poor health in recent years. Lin Feng often regulates his body, but over time, the effect is minimal. Lin Rui's 2 sons are not as promising as those in Lin Feng's family. Compared with ordinary people, they are better. The relationship between his son and daughter-in-law is good. The grandchildren are both good in character and learning. They should not be too bad in the future. He and Sister Yan were a couple who did a lot of things when they were young. They quarreled, divorced, and separated, and the whole family knew about it. In their later years, the relationship between husband and wife has become sweet. Now, Lin Rui secretly bought all the cemeteries. Only Lin Feng knew about it. He didn't tell anyone. He said, "It's good to drink boiled water. It's much better than beverages and alcohol. I'm asking my 2 kids at home to drink less. It's harmful to their bodies." Sibeo's wedding is done. Is it Sanbeo's turn? Has the date been arranged? When? Lin Feng replied, "I didn't ask. She said she's not in a hurry. We didn't urge her. As long as the child likes it, it's fine." Lin Rui said, "This child has her own ideas since she was young. Let her decide what she wants to do." "How is my aunt recently?" Lin Feng replied, "My mother and the others are doing well." When Lin Rui got up to go to the bathroom, Lin Jiajin sighed, "My brother's head is getting more and more confused now." Wang Lu didn't say anything. On this festive day, some bad words cannot be said. At night, happiness belongs to young people, and health preservation belongs to old people like them. As a father and daughter marrying a daughter, they should be happy at this wedding. But Zhuan Jiayi's parents are worried. What should they do with this huge family business? I thought of finding a capable son-in-law to take charge, but now it is obviously impossible. Let their daughter take care of it. This girl has no business experience and knows nothing. Now, they are about to have a grandson, but they can't retire yet. For a moment, they envied Lin Feng very much. The couple couldn't sleep, and finally came to a conclusion. It doesn't matter, they can still hold on, maybe their grandson can do it? Thinking about it this way, it's not that there is no direction to work hard. The couple thought about it and fell asleep happily. Chapter 806, Little Treasure with a Promising Future. Zhang Yuxi and her husband had no idea what the old couple was thinking. Because she was pregnant, Sibao went to bed early to accompany his wife. "You go and play, I can sleep by myself. Then I'll go and play for a while and entertain my friends." "Okay, go ahead." Sibao walked a few steps and turned around and asked with a smile, "Really don't want me to accompany you?" Zhang Yuxi said but meant it, "Really, you go and get busy." Sibao laughed, "I don't know what you're thinking, let them greet them outside, we'll go to bed early." Zhang Yuxi knew the general situation and pushed Sibao away. "I'm serious. Today is a big day, there are so many guests outside, it would be bad if we don't go out. And there are so many relatives here. They will say we don't know how to do things later." Sibao didn't care at all and waved his hand. "It's okay. Second sister and the others are here, they will help me take care of everything," Sibao said. His expression also looked a little tired. "Besides, getting married is really tiring, I also want to have a good rest." Zhang Yuxi looked at him carefully and grinned. "Okay. Then we have decided happily." Sibao hugged her, and the two people with the same cheerful personality and somewhat heartless fell asleep. He slept comfortably here. Over there, Erbao was so busy that he wished he had 3 heads and 6 arms. She has been married for many years, and Qin Zhang is not at home all year round. He often goes out to play. But he always stops at a certain point. After all, their status is different, and her husband's family is not ordinary. Even though he is good at dancing, there are too many people, so he can only grab other brothers and sisters to entertain. Finally, the party ended. When he saw the time was 1 o'clock in the morning, Erbao collapsed on the sofa tiredly. Sanbao came over to massage her shoulders. "Second sister, why didn't I see my second brother-in-law?" Erbao replied lazily, "It was just a formality today, and there was no one to see. It's not easy to be there. After all, it is a special position, and it is not easy to come out." Erbao knows, but she will not say anything, but she will still have some emotions in her heart. After all, as a woman, who would not want her husband to be with her all the time and take care of herself? Erbao sighed and did not think about it anymore. No matter what, she has to endure the husband she chose. She glanced at Xiao Yuang, who was not far away with Dabao, and asked gently, "When are you getting married?" Sanbao smiled, "Don't worry, I can get married any time." Erbao said nothing. "You go back and rest." After Sanbao and Xiao Yuang left, Dabao and Kaixia came over. "Tell Sibao for me that we will leave tomorrow morning." Erbao smiled, "Okay, you go." As soon as they left, the lively atmosphere slowly died down. Sibao's wedding is not to say how luxurious it is, but it is definitely grand. The Zhuan family is marrying a daughter, and the Lin family is marrying a daughter-in-law. These two families don't need to spend money to support the occasion. Many news media have been reporting this news these days. After the wedding, Raymond Lam saw these news as if it happened yesterday. Sibao's daughter-in-law is pregnant, which is now the top priority of the whole family and has attracted much attention. This time, the family actually hung a calendar with Zhuang Yuxi's due date clearly written. Zhang Yuxi would cross out a day every day when she got up. With full of expectations, Zhang Yuxi welcomed the opportunity to work with an internationally renowned director. Of course, it was just an opportunity, and she had to go through an interview to get the role. As Zhang Yuxi grew up under the care of everyone, as long as she wanted, she would walk sideways in the entertainment industry without saying a word. But she is not only good at acting, but also low-key and has a good character. She can compare with her brothers and sisters in learning, and there is some gap in appearance with Sanbao, but in the entertainment industry, her appearance is also ranked first. As long as you take stock of her appearance, family background, and acting skills, she must be among the best. And how old is she? The future is promising. The news that she can work with a big director spread like wildfire, and major media began to promote it. Although Zhang Yuxi is a low-key person, whenever there is a topic, it will definitely attract traffic. "Dad, this time I will go with the agent team, you don't have to accompany me." Erbao found a professional team for Zhang Yuxi, and Lin Feng, the former agent father, was laid off. "Okay, remember to call there, and remember to call if there's anything. When you are away from home, don't be reluctant to spend money on what you want to eat and buy. It doesn't matter if you don't get the role, just go and relax." Watching his daughter board the plane, Lin Feng felt bad. The youngest child in the family is also going to spread his wings and fly high alone. Well, It seems that she has grown a little taller this year. Lin Feng looked at the time and the weather. Today is sunny, so he went home to see her. Lin Feng's parents are old and are spending their twilight years in the countryside. It has always been a regret that Dabao and Sabao got married and the two elders did not go. They are looking forward to seeing Sabao's child after he is born. A few days ago, the aunt who was invited said that the two elders found someone to buy a cemetery. Lin Feng still thought his parents were making a fuss, but seeing that Lin Rui had already bought it, he just let them do what they wanted. Back at the farmhouse, there were a few old men and women sitting around a fire in the yard, still wearing their winter jackets. They greeted Lin Feng when they saw him coming. Seeing their son coming, the old couple in were as happy as a child, and stood up and tremblingly came over. "Is Yuxi here?" When they learned that their daughter-in-law and grandchildren were not here, a flash of disappointment flashed across their eyes, and then they smiled and asked their aunt to bring a stool over. Lin Feng was among a group of old people, eating melon seeds and listening to their chats. Their eyes were blurry, and several of them talked about their own things. "Uncle Zhang, you look good recently. I've eaten. Today I had a big bowl of porridge and soaked half a steamed bun." At this time, a young man with a buzz cut passed by on an electric bike. Lin Feng had some impression of this man, who seemed to be installing optical fiber. "I heard that this kid is a thief and often breaks into other people's houses to steal things. Oh, we should find him a girl for a blind date. He was very popular when he was young, but now he looks like a bandit leader and is so ugly." Several old men and women were chatting with each other, and the main topic was participation. Lin Feng was eating melon seeds and listening to them chatting. It was quite interesting. Everyone knew that he had some medical skills and opened a pharmaceutical factory. The medicine was ridiculously expensive and the price was also very beautiful. These people in his hometown got the internal price because of Lin Feng's relationship. Now, he especially attracts the attention of the elderly. Every time he goes home, they gather around him to see a doctor. In the past, they were all elderly people, but later, people in their 30s and 40s also came with a shameless face. Now, due to the work and rest problems, living habits, and the nature of the work, young people are full of diseases. Chapter 807 Accompanying the Elderly. "Look, more people came when we were just chatting. You can't meet empty-handed, and you hold some crops grown by your family in your hands. You know that Lin Feng is easygoing and rich, so he won't care about these things." The elders call Lin Feng by his nickname, and the peers and juniors call him Mr. Lin. Auntie went into the house to cook, and someone came to help, and the small yard was particularly lively. Lin Feng was like a free clinic doctor, with a proper manner. No matter what he said, people nodded and listened, as obedient as kindergarten children. An aunt came over and whispered in Lin Feng's ear. "My father-in-law's doctor told him to stop drinking, but he didn't listen and drank secretly behind their backs. Mr. Lin, please criticize him." Lin Feng nodded while taking his pulse. "I know, sister." The aunt was overjoyed and was waiting to see the show. Sure enough, after Lin Feng listed the many problems of the old man's body, his face sank slightly. "Uncle, did you drink secretly?" The man who could be called uncle by Lin Feng was older than Lin's father and was in good spirits. In the whole village, few could compare with him. The old man was also blessed with filial children. At this age, he didn't need to be served by others. Not only could he take care of himself, but he could also drink. Not bad. After hearing what Lin Feng said, the old man denied it 3 times in a row. His daughter-in-law smiled and said, "Dad, why don't you admit it?" Mr. Lin knows everything after taking the pulse. Lin Feng didn't act in a coacting way, because the old man really couldn't drink, it would kill him. Under Lin Feng's severe criticism and education, the old man hung his head like a crane quail. It's my turn, move aside and let me sit." An old lady with gray hair and only a few teeth left yelled and pushed the dejected old man off the stool. Lin Feng, who was standing next to him, was amused. As people get older, their body functions decline, and they all have diseases due to the consumption of grains. Lin Feng wrote them a prescription: "Don't let the pharmacy make it for you, take it home and make it yourself." The eldest sister nodded, yes, you have to come back and make it yourself. The pharmacy's prescription doesn't work very well. I've experienced it myself. After lunch, Lin Feng looked around. Oh, there are still many people waiting outside. After a busy day, at 9 o'clock in the evening, The two old people of the Lin family went to bed, and he had dinner. Think it's over? Someone came on time. Lin Feng could tell from his embarrassed expression that he was very curious about this question. For men, there are only a few difficult topics to talk about. After eating melons and getting medicine, it was almost 11 o'clock. The old man had a light sleep at night. Lin Dashan felt that he had woken up from a nap, but his son was still awake. Go to bed quickly, don't cover yourself at night, it's easy to catch a cold. After going to the toilet, Lin Dashan slowly returned to the room. The villa built in the countryside is very large, and several children in the family were taken into consideration. However, they have never gathered together in recent years. Lin Feng stayed here for 3 days, and Zhang Yuxi asked him to accompany the old man. Zhang Yuxi called and said that the audition was successful and he would play in the local area for a few days in the next few days. The old couple listened to the noise on the side and also wanted to video chat with their granddaughter. Everyone chatted about their own things. Zhang Yuxi grinned, and the old couple in kept blowing rainbows. Zhang Yuxi is getting more and more beautiful. Our girl is prettier than others. Eat well over there, don't be afraid to spend money, your father has money. Don't eat softly, look at the car when you go out, and wait for the red light when crossing the zebra crossing. When you are done, come to see Grandpa and Grandma, we are waiting for you. Zhang Yuxi smiled and responded to them in the same way. Grandpa and Grandma should take good care of their health. Don't go out on rainy days, be careful not to slip and fall. Tell Auntie if you want to eat anything, let Auntie cook it for you. My dad cooks delicious food, so let him cook it. Don't worry, I will take care of myself. Don't look at me as cute, I can beat people fiercely. I will come and stay for a few days after I finish here. After hanging up the video, the old couple heard that their granddaughter was coming, and hurriedly asked Auntie to clean up the room. Your dad said that it's about time to wait for Sibayo's baby to be born and take a look at it. Nonsense, you won't wait for the other kids? Besides, Zhang Yuxi isn't married yet? Don't you want to see her get married? That's what I told your dad too. He didn't say anything, but he still picked the grave without telling me. Joe Killen said it calmly, but you could tell she was sad. People like them who are half buried in the ground, after a long period of psychological preparation, have become indifferent to life and death. Lin Feng comforted Joe Killen. Mom, you and Dad are in good health, it's too early to talk about this. Joe Killen just smiled, turned her head and asked about the consultation, pricked up her ears and looked gossipy. Mom, this is someone's privacy, don't ask. Oh, I can guess something without you telling me. I don't know what kind of person he is just by asking around. Then don't ask. It's okay, just tell me, I won't tell anyone. Didn't you say you would know if you asked around? Oh, how can the information you ask around be as accurate as yours? Tell Mom, what's wrong with him? Lin Feng was at home, and his aunt happened to be on vacation for 2 days to go back to deal with some things. She stayed there for a week, waiting for Zhang Yuxi to come back. The old couple learned that their granddaughter would come back today, so they sat outside and waited. No matter how Lin Feng persuaded her, she would not listen, so they just let them wait. They waited from 7 in the morning to 9 in the morning, and finally waited for that familiar figure, which made them very happy. Lin Feng was busy cooking in the house. When the house was built, he listened to the old couple's advice and built a stove, saying that this would save gas and make cooking more fragrant. The new aunt didn't know how to do this, but later she slowly learned how to accurately control the heat. Is the meal ready? Zhang Yuxi is hungry. Lin Feng was serving the dishes and responded, it's ready, let her come and help. Lin Dashan continued to reply loudly, Zhang Yuxi just came home and is tired, you can do it yourself. Lin Feng pursed his lips and muttered, okay, I'll do it myself. After finishing the work, before Lin Feng took off his apron, he saw the old couple and several other elderly people surrounding Zhang Yuxi like a star, each with a friendly smile. The meal. Lin Feng was about to speak when he was pushed aside by Aunt Joe Killen. Lin Feng. Joe Killen didn't even glance at her, and smiled at her precious granddaughter with curved eyebrows. Zhang Yuxi, didn't you say that the flight was at 7 o'clock? Why are you back now? Lin Feng, Mom, I told you that Zhang Yuxi will leave from there at 7 o'clock, not here. Joe Killen seemed not to hear him and smiled as she picked up food for Zhang Yuxi. Here, these are all your favorites. There are also fruits. Lin Dashan sat on the side, give Zhang Yuxi more meat to eat. He looks so thin and dark recently. Joe Killen quickly picked up a piece of beef. Come on, Xiaobao, eat quickly. Chapter 808 Zhang Yuxi is sick. Several other elderly people looked at Xiaobao and praised her. The girl is prettier than the ones on TV. I heard that you make money by acting. Is that true? Even if I don't act, I can make money by doing other jobs. I remember the last time Xiaobao came was during the Chinese New Year. I haven't seen her for more than half a year, and she is still so beautiful. Yes, Xiaobao is a beauty. She will definitely be prettier than a star when she grows up. Xiaobao, I have a relative here who also wants to be an actor. Can you help? Joe Killen was immediately unhappy when she heard this. Why should I help, Xiaobao? She achieved it through her own efforts. If your relative wants to be an actress, she should find a way out on her own. Besides, to be an actor you have to have good personal qualities. If she doesn't have good personal qualities, no amount of help will help. The atmosphere suddenly became very awkward. Xiaobao quickly said, let me see the situation. If I can help, I'll help. But Joe Killen said, don't help. Her relative's daughter relies on her good looks and wants to be a big star. She's not a very good person. She turned to the old woman and said, I'm being frank. Facts are facts. It's your business if you want to be angry. The old woman smiled awkwardly. Why should I be angry? I didn't want to get involved in their affairs in the first place. They begged me for a long time, so I'm telling them a message. Joe Killen's expression eased a little. You are just soft-hearted. When they ask about this later, just say we won't help and let them do whatever they want. The old woman sighed. Let them be. Several other people also came over to persuade them. Lin Feng became very impatient listening to their chatter. Xiaobao, come and eat. Grandpa will pour you some juice. Since they settled down in their hometown, they have helped their relatives a lot. Some things can be helped, but some things are completely unnecessary, and they will be known as thankless in the future. In the past, I felt a little guilty about turning down my fellow villagers. Now, go ahead, no matter if you like it or not. Lin Feng took off his apron and went to feed the chickens and ducks. Raising them is dirty and takes up space. The yard needs to be cleaned up every day. There are many people in the family, so the old couple naturally raise more. Fortunately, the old couple can take care of themselves and can do things like feeding chickens and ducks by themselves. Otherwise, the burden on the aunt would be even heavier. In 1 year, Lin Feng raised the aunt's salary twice. Fortunately, there are neighbors to help. Otherwise, the aunt would have quit her job long ago. Lin Feng picked up a stainless steel basin, walked to the hill in the backyard, and glanced around. Dong dong dong, knocking on the stainless steel basin. Then, there was a strange scene. Chickens were seen running and flying from all directions. Each of them looked like they had been hungry for 800 years. At first, Lin Feng looked like he had never seen the world, but now he was used to it. He would even shout, "It's time to eat, it's time to eat." After Lin Feng finished feeding the chickens, he went to drive the ducks. He would drive them into the river and that was it. When it got dark at night, they would come back in groups. It was already noon when he finished his work, so Lin Feng went back to make lunch. Where's Xiaobao? She went to bed. Call her when the meal is ready. The old couple was happily looking at the gifts that Xiaobao and Sanbao bought for them. They were all clothes, and they were the right size. These clothes were also available in stores outside, and they were happy because they were given by their 2 granddaughters. Does it look good? Joe Killen was wearing a plain cotton and linen suit, a loose version, which was very suitable for this elegant old lady. Lin Feng smiled. It looks good. Lin Feng was also wearing a cotton and linen suit for the elderly, which made him look younger. He was very happy and kept saying that it fit him well and looked good. Before the clothes were even rinsed, the old couple couldn't wait to show off. Mom and Dad, make lunch. Save the food for us, we'll eat it when we come back. 3 days later, when Xiaobao and Lin Feng left, the trunk of the $1 million luxury car was full of vegetables, meat, and a few poultry. There was no more room, and Joe Killen was still looking for a gap to put it in. Lin Feng on the side shouted, "Mom, that's enough, these are enough to eat." Joe Killen said while busying herself, "How can it be enough? Besides, it's not just for you, but also for Xiaobao." Lin Feng was helpless. "Can I come back to get it after you finish eating? Or you can go out and buy some." Joe Killen glared at her ungrateful son. These are better than those outside. What are you still standing there for? Help me move this, I'll put this dried cowpea here. While the mother and son were busy, the grandfather and grandson were also busy on the other side. Grandpa, this is a gift from me, take it. Grandpa has money, keep it for yourself. This is Grandpa's little piggy bank, come on, keep it secretly and don't let your grandma see it. Exclamation mark. Grandpa, I can't take your money. SHH, keep your voice down. Grandpa doesn't need this money even if he saves it. You can take it and buy whatever you want. Exclamation mark. Grandpa, I really don't want it. I have money. I know you have money and can earn it. But this is Grandpa's heartfelt gift. It's not much. Please keep it. Grandpa, I really can't take it. If you don't take it, Grandpa will be angry. Do you hear me? Lin Feng frowned, and Xiaobao had to take it when he saw this. Thank you, Grandpa. Lin Feng smiled lovingly. Be good, go back and study hard. We won't act you if we are tired. Being happy is the most important thing. Xiaobao nodded, his eyes sour. Grandpa, take care of yourself. I will come back to see you often. Lin Feng smiled. Okay, Grandpa will be waiting for you in the countryside. The car drove away slowly, and the two old people stood in the sunset, their shadows stretched very long. Xiaobao leaned out of the window and waved, goodbye, Grandpa and Grandma. The two elders waved. Their shadows gradually turned into a dot, turned a corner and disappeared. Xiaobao was a little sad. The old people saw each other less and less, and they didn't know when they would be free to meet this time. When they returned to the city, the father and daughter found that Zhang Yuxi was sick and had been lying in bed for 2 days. Lin Feng took a look and thought that the problem was not serious and she would be well. The next day, Xiaobao went back to school, and Zhang Yuxi supported herself to go to work. She has been devoted to the education career since she got married. Not to mention how successful she is, it can be said that she has always lived up to her conscience. Originally, she could have been promoted again, but she refused. If she wanted to be promoted again, she would have to leave the local area, and she didn't want to. Secondly, she didn't seek fame and fortune, and she was fine in her original position. Of course, part of the reason was also for the children. After Bao married into the Qin family, the Qin general is now rising step by step, and she has heard some rumors from afar. Bao married K Xia, and the K family is full of nobles. This is a well-known fact. Now Bao has married Zhuan Jianai, and their Lin family has connections in business and politics. As an old mother, she couldn't do anything for them, so she wanted to keep a low profile and avoid trouble. She wanted to be a good mother in another place within her ability. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 809 Live Slander. Today was a fine day. Lin Feng looked at the sky and went to drive a taxi. He could meet all kinds of people and go around everywhere, and Lin Feng liked this job very much. It was not always so pleasant to receive orders. Today, Lin Feng met a common girl, and he almost exploded with anger. It was cool in summer, and the girl was dressed fashionably and beautifully, and her makeup was also beautiful. Lin Feng could not help but glance at her clothes. He thought that this skirt would also look good on Xiaobao. He had not bought clothes for Xiaobao for a long time, so why not ask for a link and give it to Xiaobao? What are you looking at? Haven't you seen a woman? The woman in the back seat suddenly said this, and Lin Feng was stunned. What's going on? Did she misunderstand? Although the words were unpleasant, Lin Feng thought about explaining. Little girl, I. But he was interrupted by the little girl. You are so old, if you want to see a woman, don't look at me, okay? If you look at me again, I will complain to you. Drive. She also muttered that it was disgusting, which made Lin Feng, who had not been angry for many years, angry. First of all, I only looked at you once when you got in the car, not more. Besides, you are just an ordinary-looking person, why should I look at you? Finally, who gave you the confidence to think that your charm can make people have ideas at a glance? Lin Feng's words angered the girl, and her image was shattered to the ground, and she cursed. She held her mobile phone and shouted and cursed. What is your license plate number? What is your name? I will complain to the platform about you. After that, she called the platform and distorted the facts. Hello, is this the pickup platform? The driver with license plate number DY67878 not only insulted me verbally, but also touched me. Verify? I am here. Do you need to verify? You must solve this matter as soon as possible, otherwise I will expose it. Lin Feng has long known that there are differences in human evolution, but he was still stunned. My God, this girl looks young and beautiful. Why is her character so bad? The recorder is still working, and she just said nonsense like this? Is he afraid of a serious illness? The girl hung up the phone and recorded another video. Everyone be careful of this driver. As soon as I got on the car, he looked at me and cursed me. Everyone remember the license plate. Don't get on this car. I'm afraid he is a bad guy. Everyone must protect their safety when they go out. When recording the video, the girl's face completely changed. She smiled sweetly with a clip sound. Lin Feng was speechless and turned his head to finally show the girl his face. I say, little girl, this camera is recording. You have to provide evidence when you speak, okay? The girl pointed the camera of her mobile phone at Lin Feng. Everyone remember the appearance of this driver. Then, she got stuck and was shocked by the appearance of this old Uncle Lin Feng. Lin Feng is well maintained. Even if he is dressed simply, he can be recognized as a successful person at a glance. After years of precipitation, Lin Feng has a steady body. He embodies the 4 words Uncle Charm to the fullest. Just when the girl didn't react, the netizens on the live broadcast didn't come back to their senses. Raymond Lam was once a popular national dad and national father-in-law. With a rapid iteration of online information, Raymond Lam is no longer the big internet celebrity he once was, and his popularity has declined. But facing this unforgettable face, you can immediately think of who he is. Oh my God, isn't this Dad Lin? Is he really driving a sports car? No way. Is Dad Lin such a person in private? No way, no way. Is it true or false? Who is telling the truth? You can't know a person's heart by knowing his face. The side we see may be packaged for us by others. Yet, many celebrities collapsed some time ago, isn't it the same? During this period, collapses of male and female celebrities in the entertainment industry occurred one after another, making people no longer believe in their personalities. Raymond Lam, a good man, a good husband, a good father, and many other personalities, will inevitably be implicated in this time period and at this point. And some time ago, someone also broke the news about the driver. Therefore, the comments in the live broadcast are now polarized. One side is a wave of people who believe in Raymond Lam as a person. The other side is a wave of people who accuse him of a hypocritical title. Lin Feng didn't want to haggle with a little girl, and wanted to teach her a lesson. Unexpectedly, the girl openly slandered him on the live broadcast. He was already very old, and he couldn't stand being criticized like this at an old age. Thinking of this, his anger subsided. Some people might be bad from the bottom of their hearts. He said calmly, little girl, as a person, you must be responsible for your words and deeds. The little girl was already on the verge of shooting, and she didn't expect that the other party was actually the famous Mr. Lin. But she was bold, and she was thinking that maybe she could take this opportunity to become famous. As for what will happen next, we will talk about it later. After changing her mind, the little girl insisted that what she said was true. Seeing this, Lin Feng didn't say anything. Then let's go through the procedures. He immediately called the lawyer, told the whole story in a few words, and asked the little girl to get out of the car. The girl was still trying to save face. Okay, let's go through the formalities. Watching the car driving away, the girl was worried, not knowing what she would face next. But when she saw the number of people watching the live broadcast, all her worries were instantly swept away. They are such rich people, they shouldn't bother with a small person like her. I'll be fine if I cry and apologize later. Anyway, I'll be famous and make the money I deserve. I won't compromise. Although they are rich, they can't distort the facts. Soon, this matter quickly became the #1 hot search. And the girl, one of the parties involved, also became famous. However, before she could sit on the top of the hot search for 5 minutes, she was squeezed out by another hot search. Lin Feng's lawyer, at the girl's account, sued. Professionals do things in a swift and resolute manner. Relevant videos, voice and other evidence have been submitted. At the same time, the lawyer team did not hesitate to release these evidence. One is a video of the girl waiting for the car, one is a surveillance video in the car, And the last one is a video of the girl getting off the car. The time of the video is seamlessly connected, and there is no trace of editing. The voice part is the girl complaining on the platform. Her arrogant look is completely different from the live broadcast. This is quite embarrassing. Those who scolded Raymond Lam couldn't continue scolding before the 5 minutes were up. Those who supported the girl felt so hurt when their faces were hit that they immediately stepped back. Speechless. This reversal came too fast. My watermelon is still cold. I have always believed in the character of Lin's father. He can educate his children so well, and his parents are also of good character. Haha, her appearance is just so-so. Where does she get the confidence to think that people are attracted to her? I am her classmate. She is not good-looking at all. She relies on makeup. I wonder if those who say she is good-looking have seen her photos without makeup. She has been in a lot of negative news before, but because she is not famous, no one pays much attention to her. She is very evil. You don't know. I know. I can only say that it is karma, and today she has paid back to me. Why did you offend Lin's father for no reason? You deserve it. Oh my god, this lawyer is my teacher. Chapter 810. Is that girl pretty? When the wall falls, everyone pushes it. This girl has a bad character to begin with, and she has done more than one bad thing. When she was not famous, she did not stir up any waves on the internet. Now that Raymond Lam is involved, her past dark history has been dug out one by one, which makes people's three views shattered. Not to mention knowing 3, being a scumbag, being a sea king, betraying her best friend, etc. There was even a death. The reason was that someone dug up a post from many years ago, naming this girl. At the beginning, this girl used the same method to ruin a man's life and even lost his life. In the end, this girl knelt down and begged them for forgiveness because she was young and ignorant, and paid some money to end it. Some people are hard to change their nature, and they are evil from the bottom of their hearts. People do things, and God sees, and you will get retribution sooner or later. The person who posted claimed to be the man's son, and the girl was less than 15 years old at the time. Now that the post has been dug up, it also indirectly proves that the girl who was less than 15 years old was indeed this person. Then, something interesting happened. The person who posted the original message, the son of the deceased, posted again, claiming that a team of lawyers had contacted him. Do their best to find out the truth about what happened that year. Obviously, this team of lawyers is from Raymond Lam. At this time, 15 minutes had passed since the hot search. The little girl occupied half of the hot search list. For a time, she became famous. Completely famous. She became famous as she wished. Raymond Lam didn't want to drive a sports car. He went home and communicated with a lawyer, and was shocked. You can't judge a person by his appearance. This little girl is a complete villain. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yuxi called quickly, "Old Lin, are you okay?" Raymond Lam asked curiously, "What can happen to me?" "You haven't been affected, have you?" Zhang Yuxi said in a calm tone, "No, don't take it to heart. Just think of it as a bite from a dog. You can't bite it back." Faced with his wife's concern, Raymond Lam was deeply moved. "Although I can't bite back, I can fight back." Zhang Yuxi laughed, "As long as you're okay, I'll continue working." Lin Feng asked, "What do you want to eat tonight?" Zhang Yuxi replied, "I'll eat whatever you cook. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up." During the call, Lin Feng received several calls, including from Erbao, Sabao, and Lin Jiajin. After hanging up, Sabao called. "Dad, can you tell me what's going on?" Lin Feng was speechless. "What's wrong with this gossip? What happened was just like the video on the internet. There's nothing much to say." "Oh, then Dad, are you angry? Are you furious?" "Not bad." "Not bad? Then you have a really good manners. If someone slandered me like this, I would beat her to pulp. You're going to be a father anyway, so be gentler. How is Jie recently?" "She's fine. She can eat and sleep well. She's gained weight, and so have I. Hahaha. Sibao is the happy pill of the family. There's always a sunny boy living in his heart, and it's so much fun to chat with him." Lin Feng told his son, "It's very hard for a woman to be pregnant. You should care more about Jie and be less heartless." Sibao laughed, "Of course." "Dad, do you want a grandson or a granddaughter?" Lin Feng replied, "I like both." Sibao said with expectation, "I hope it's a daughter. I will dress her up like a little princess in the future." Lin Feng could only say, "I hope it's as you wish." After hanging up the phone, Lin Feng called Bao again. I was just talking to Bao on the phone. No one knows a brother better than his sister. Bao asked, is he here to listen to gossip? Lin Feng laughed, otherwise, you guys are the best at playing. Bao laughed and comforted Lin Feng. Dad, you don't often go out in society, so you're a little out of touch? Young people nowadays are quite changeable. Don't take this matter to heart, and don't read what is said on the internet. If you read it, just treat it as bullshit. Their father, who had been flawless all his life, was actually slandered like this. Bao wanted to tear her mouth. Anyway, Bao decided. That person, don't even think about getting along in the future. Lin Feng felt warm in his heart. His daughter is the best. Your father is strong-willed and won't take this to heart. After chatting with Bao for a while, Lin Feng sighed and answered Lin Jiajin's call. What's the matter with those things on the internet? Lin Jiajin likes to play vibrato, and every time he scrolls, he sees news about Lin Feng. Lin Jiajin didn't understand, so he quickly called Lin Feng to ask what was going on. Every salesperson said something different, and he was confused. Lin Feng told him the story in general, and Lin Jiajin was amazed. Oh my god, young people are like this, like this. Not all young people are like this. This girl is bad by nature, and I heard that she even caused a death. We need to clean it up. The internet has brought us convenience, but it also has bad habits, Alice. Lin Feng changed the subject. I heard that you are going to the beach in a while? When are you leaving? In another week. How about you? Do you want to go with us to relax? Don't drive a car, you won't make much money. Lin Feng didn't care. If you don't drive a car, you will be like you, looking at beautiful women every day. Lin Jiajin smiled. Everyone likes beautiful things, it has nothing to do with age. While making dinner, Lin Feng received a call from the lawyer. The girl will come to apologize later, and then apologize publicly online. As for other things, we will wait for investigation. Forget about her coming to apologize. I don't think she's sincere. And I won't accept her apology. We should solve it how we need to solve it. Some things can't be forgiven by an apology. The lawyer knew what he meant and knew what to do next. Okay, I'll handle it properly next. Some people's repentance is the result of being forced to a certain extent and having to compromise. It's like some people who don't care about anything because it doesn't fall on their heads. In the evening, Bao and Zhang Yuxi came back together. Seeing that Lin Feng looked calm, they exchanged glances and no one mentioned the matter at the dinner table. In the evening, the couple laid down. At this time on ordinary days, Zhang Yuxi would have already laid down to sleep, but today she propped up her head and looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng was reading a book. 10 minutes later, he saw that his wife was still silent, so he took off his glasses and asked, "What's the matter? Is that girl pretty?" Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and narrowed his eyes slightly. "Wife, your words are dangerous." Zhang Yuxi came closer. "Husband." The older Zhang Yuxi gets, the more her insecure side can be reflected, even outsiders can see it. Lin Feng expressed his feelings to her many times, but the effect was still minimal, which made him helpless. Chapter 811, Something is wrong with my second sister recently. In his opinion, he is so old and will soon become a grandfather, how could he possibly mess around? Besides, he never messed around when he was young, and it is even more impossible for him to do so when he is old. Zhang Yuxi's understanding of this is, when she was young, she had the capital, but now she is an old lady. Lin Feng doesn't understand it at all, but the people around him understand Zhang Yuxi's insecurity. Men are in the prime at 41, and Lin Feng is the one who is in full bloom. But he himself doesn't think he has ever been charming. Lin Jiajin wanted to beat him up many times, thinking that he just didn't know how to appreciate his blessings. Putting down the book, Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yuxi and expressed his feelings as usual. Zhang Yuxi said nothing, and stroked his face, as if to say, "Why don't you look old?" At 0 o'clock the next day, the lawyer team gave the result on time. It was clearly stated that Mr. Lin himself did not accept Ms. Li's apology and hoped to handle it according to the law. Ms. Li was sued by the lawyer team for multiple crimes and is about to face a year in prison. And compensate Raymond Lam for mental damages, reputation damages and other expenses, totaling 200,000 yuan. She was not convinced and would have to fight the lawsuit for a while. The lawyer promised Raymond Lam that Ms. Li would be in jail in a week at most. But less than a week later, Ms. Li was in jail. The lawyer team is contacting her about her follow-up matters. After so many years, It is difficult to obtain evidence. If it is confirmed, Ms. Li will suffer. The matter has come to an end. The internet has returned to brief calm. The hot summer has also come to an end. Sibeo announced a blockbuster news in the group. Zhuan Jiai is pregnant with a boy. His dream of having a daughter was shattered. Dabeo, who rarely appeared in the group, replied, "Try harder next time." Sibeo replied, "Yes, I still have 2 chances." Erbeo, who has always been very active in the group, did not show up today, which is unusual. Thinking about her situation, everyone stopped discussing the topic of children and talked about Xia Abeo's new movie instead. Being able to work with an international director requires not only acting skills but also connections. And connections are not something you can get just because you have money, especially when the other party is a big director with a weird temper. Xia Abeo, I saw in the entertainment news that Xia Lulu was also invited, but she didn't get the role in the end. Really? I haven't heard any news about her, and the director didn't tell me. This Xia Lulu's favorite thing to do is to market with Xia Abeo. When she first entered the entertainment industry, she used the title of Looks Like Xia Abeo to attract people's attention. Finally, Erbeo, who had been silent, spoke up, "Wait, don't fall into my hands, and see how I will deal with her later." As a person in the entertainment industry, Xia Abeo has less information than Erbeo. If there is any gossip, whether it is true or false, you can tell it by asking Erbeo. Among these people, Sibeo is the most gossipy, and he also likes to follow people. He is Xia Abeo's biological brother, and he should have been a fan of his sister, but later he gradually became a fan of many female stars. That's fine, the key is that his eyesight is not good, and he will collapse the reputation of one person if he follows one. Sibeo was shocked and doubted his life. In the end, there was really no other way. Before becoming a fan of Sibeo, they would consult Erbeo to ensure that there would be no house collapse this time. Over time, Sibeo felt that the water in the entertainment industry was too muddy. Even if you are a lotus, after a long time, it is inevitable that you will be stained with mud. So, in the end, as long as the melons are eaten quickly, it doesn't matter if the house collapses. I fall in love with everyone I see, today this goddess, tomorrow that goddess. But Zhuan Jiai doesn't care at all, she has many male gods, today this god, tomorrow that uncle. The funniest thing about the couple is that they are fans of the rivals, standing for different CPs, and they are busy having fun. They have a lot of fun every day, and they quarrel in the group every day, and the screen is full of the sour smell of love. Look, as soon as Sibeo finished asking, Zhuan Jiai sent a message. "Second sister, I heard that Xia Lulu has someone behind her? Is it true? You don't know about this?" Zhuan Jiai was surprised. "Do I need to know?" Erbeo smiled. "Your company was looking for Xia Lulu to shoot an advertisement before, but the deal didn't go through. This happened a long time ago. At that time, they said that there was someone behind her, but I didn't investigate because it had nothing to do with me. Later, this person liked to compare with Xia Abeo in everything he did, so I asked people in the circle. Xia Lulu is indeed capable and her family is well off. There is indeed someone backing her up, and her status is just so-so. To be specific, this person has some cooperative relationship with your family and our family. As for her character, it can't be hidden now. What do you think happened?" Zhuan Jiai replied, "So, we didn't succeed in our cooperation at the beginning because we knew that her character was not good." Erbeo said, "This girl is good at marketing. She has come all the way from filming online dramas to now, which shows her ability. But, she only has these abilities. Instead of doing some unnecessary marketing, it's better to practice her acting skills more. A girl in her 20s is still playing the role of a sweet girl. Let's see what she will do in the future. The acting career has narrowed down, and it will not be easy to expand it in the future." At this time, Sibeo asked about an old matter. "Is it true that the dress was lost before?" This matter is very interesting. Xia Abeo participated in an international fashion exhibition before. The invited guests were all top-notch celebrities in China, and their status was all first line. Those who were not included occasionally also participated because of their connections. For example, there were not many people with rich family backgrounds and connections who could speak well in the international arena. Xia Abeo was undoubtedly invited. Surprisingly, Xia Lulu, who was not famous at that time, was also said to be invited. For this reason, it was also searched hotly. I never expected that in the end, I missed the event because of the loss of the dress. This matter was searched hotly again. Thought it was over? Later, someone broke the news that the organizer did not invite Xiaolu at all, and she was not on the list. In this regard, Xiaolu has not come out to express her position. So many years have passed, relying on everyone's understanding of her and her familiar operation. It can be completely concluded that it was just a hype topic at the beginning. The thing about this girl is that she looks sweet and is a sweet girl. But the key thing is that she is very thick-skinned. No matter how she is criticized, she remains unmoved and has become a unique existence in the entertainment industry. Urbeo commented on her that as long as she puts her mind on improving her acting skills, she will have a bright future. But this girl obviously didn't think so much. Her acting skills are not good, but she loves to take advantage of the popularity every day. She has been scolded many times and has not restrained herself at all. Urbeo said, "I'm tired, I'm going to rest first, good night everyone." As soon as the person left, Sibeo couldn't help but say, "Second sister has been a little bit wrong recently, what's wrong with her?" No one answered, only he kept sending messages. "Isn't she in menopause?" "No, she's not that age yet." "Huh? Why is no one talking? Is it because my second brother-in-law is too busy and makes her lonely?" Sanbeo replied, "Mind your own business, be careful that my second sister will cut you." Sibeo is not afraid of Urbeo, and he also added, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and have fun. Get out, stinky woman JPG. Sway, swing JPG. Chapter 812, How about finding one for me too? No one responded, he was the only one having fun alone. At 3 in the morning, Urbeo replied online. "Sibeo, you have a wide network of contacts, find a little brother for my sister." Sibeo replied at 5 in the morning, "Second sister, this is not good, my second brother-in-law will beat me to death if he knows." A minute later, Sibeo continued to reply, "Second sister, private chat?" At 5:30 in the morning, Qin Zhang unexpectedly said, "Brother, you are looking for she, right?" At 7 o'clock, everyone watched this together. Dabeo asked calmly, "Fourth brother, what did you talk to my second sister about in private?" Sanbeo added fuel to the fire, "How about finding one for me too?" 3 minutes later, Xiaoyuang? Xiaoyuang, Sibeo, are you tired of the current life? At 8 o'clock, Sibeo came online. A look of surprise, blame me? I'm just a good brother who cares about my sister. Of course, Sibeo said this, but he still felt a little uneasy in his heart. For so many years, he has been known as the all-around little prince in the sports world, but he feels that he can't do it when he gets older. Unlike his second brother-in-law, he was beaten up when he practiced a few moves with another man at his wedding last time. If it weren't for the fact that he was the groom, he would have cried a few times for Urbeo to see, and he wouldn't have felt sorry for his younger brother. Qin Zhang rose step by step, and the special identity of his profession made him handsome and fierce, but he exuded a solemn aura. This kind of person gives people a sense of being a majestic superior, but at the same time, he is very difficult to mess with. Strangers and people with ordinary relationships all stay away from him. Sibeo, this child, has never lost to anyone except Sanbeo in a fight since he was a child, and he has always been very confident. Until he wanted to compete with Qin Zhang, he never won. From then on, he had sincere respect for the second brother-in-law who had been bathed in blood and rain, and there was also a hint of fear. Many years later, Sibeo, who was defeated miserably, felt that Sanbeo must be much worse than before after so many years in the fashion circle. It must be a sure thing that he had won over her. However, he screamed and was beaten, which attracted a round of ridicule from the onlookers. Since then, Sibeo no longer dared to act wildly at home. Therefore, Qin Zhang and Xiaoyuang appeared in the group one after another. After he tried to save his face in the group, he immediately sent a private message to them. "Second brother-in-law, I was joking, don't take it seriously. When you were not at home, I was secretly supervising my second sister. Once something uncontrollable happened, I was able to turn the tide." After saying a lot of nonsense, Qin Zhang replied to 4 people, "This will not happen again." In contrast, Xiaoyuang, who thought he was easy to coax, was particularly angry today. The result of his output to Sibeo was, "Sibeo, you are married and have children, you have to help me get happiness." This made Sibeo feel guilty, as if it was his fault that they didn't get married. After coaxing the 2 men, Sibao pouted, such an old man, you are too insecure. Zhuan Jiai laughed, it's your fault. Who told you to find something to say all day? Now you have offended your second and third brother-in-law. Sibao yawned, it's okay if I offended them. Come on, let's take a nap. Zhuan Jiai's early pregnancy symptoms, except for occasional morning sickness, were no different from before, as she could eat and sleep. Sibao was a new father, and his family conditions allowed, so he planned to work from home for the next few months and accompany his wife until the birth. After a while, the couple cuddled together and fell asleep. The aunt downstairs prepared breakfast, but she waited and waited but no one came down, so she sighed. Was she serving two pregnant women? Early autumn is coming. Xian Abao left for a foreign country with a management team. What she might face is a 6-month filming schedule, during which she would come back to take exams and wait for the arrival of the new baby. This was Xian Abao leaving Raymond Lam and going abroad alone for a long-term filming, and she thought it was nothing. But Lin Feng was very worried. He was usually quiet, but today he was particularly talkative. Xian Abao, have you brought everything? Why don't you open the box and check again? Dad, I've checked twice, and all the documents are in place, don't worry. Did you bring the food too? Beef sauce, pickled mustard sauce, chili sauce. Stop, Dad, I brought all these things, don't worry. Then, are you used to it in the crew? If you are not used to staying in a hotel alone, if your taste is not suitable, hire a cook. If you don't have time, find an aunt. Dad, I'm going to film, not to travel. I can do all these, don't worry about me. You can also find Sanbao, she is more reliable in finding people. Forget it, I'll talk to her about this. Dad, it's really not necessary, the third sister will help me arrange everything over there. No matter how Xian Abao objected, Lin Feng still called Sanbao. Okay, tell your third sister that she will take care of your life there. Xian Abao's pretty face was full of helplessness. I know, Dad, you have to take care of yourself at home, I will be back after filming. Lin Feng's face was full of reluctance and worry. Don't worry about me, you must pay attention to safety when you go there to film, don't work too hard, it's not like the family can't afford to support you. When did he become that kind of father? Xian Abao couldn't help but laugh. I know, I will be careful. The management team gathered at the airport, and they were all quite familiar with Lin Feng. Watching his daughter board the plane, Lin Feng sat in a chair and couldn't help but be in a daze, looking up with melancholy, looking at the people around him. Suddenly, at this moment, he really wanted to call Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi heard his tone and guessed what he was sighing about, and reported a lot of big dishes. Let's spend some time alone tonight. I can put my work aside for a while. Let's go travel for a few days. After hearing what Zhang Yuxi said, Lin Feng really became energetic. Okay, I'll go buy groceries now. Zhang Yuxi hung up the phone and breathed a sigh of relief. In the final analysis, it was because Lin Feng had nothing to do, and he was a thoughtful person. When he was young, he was busy with the big and small things of his children. Unlike now, the children have grown up and have their own lives. The feeling of being busy and needed gradually disappeared, and it was not pleasant in the heart. She had a deep understanding of this feeling. There was a period of vacation, and I was idle at home. I didn't expect that I would get sick. No matter how Lin Feng checked, he couldn't find the cause of the disease. Finally, he said, no, you can go to work. Hey, once you go to work, you will be energetic and not feel uncomfortable. After decades of marriage, she still doesn't understand Lin Feng. Thinking about it, she started to check for tourist places suitable for the elderly, thinking that signing up for a tour group might be more lively. But when I called them, I learned that they were all nearly 60 years old, and no one dared to accept them. The reason was that they were afraid that they were too old and had high blood sugar, high blood pressure, etc., and if something happened in the future, they couldn't afford to pay. If you want to claim, you should report to the elderly group. Zhang Yuxi thought what they said made sense, so she called the elderly group Tutor. Age is not a problem, but the procedures are more complicated. Zhang Yuxi was overwhelmed, and she just said she would consider it. Chapter 813 The Old One is Gone. Tonight, Zhang Yuxi got off work early. When she got home, Lin Feng was busy. She changed into a set of home clothes, washed her hands, and went to the kitchen to help. She talked about the gossip she heard in the office. She wouldn't usually say these things, But today she saw her husband was in a bad mood, so she cheered him up. Lin Feng listened with great interest. He didn't expect Zhang Yuxi's social circle to be so lively. He kept talking. I didn't expect his son to be such a person. I don't think he is. He is like this in private. Tisk 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 tisk, each generation is really worse than the previous one. Zhang Yuxi is in a high position. She never asks about these things. They are all told by her friends. The couple was talking happily. As a result, Zhang Yuxi's phone rang, and she looked unhappy after answering it. What's wrong, wife? Zhang Yuxi was silent for a while, choking with sobs. Teacher Tang, he is gone. Why? He died of a sudden heart attack. Teacher Tang was the first person the couple knew. At the same time, he was also Lin Feng's teacher. When Zhang Yuxi was still teaching at Yangcheng University, she had a good relationship with Teacher Tang and Han Wen. In recent years, Teacher Tang has lived a carefree life, and the two of them often contact each other. A few years ago, they got together, and Teacher Tang was in good spirits. Her son got married and had a child, giving her a lovely granddaughter, and the family was harmonious. Zhang Yuxi was sad, her eyes were red, and she felt that things were impermanent. The originally planned world of two people became sad because of Teacher Tang's death. The couple packed their luggage and booked the earliest flight. When they arrived, Teacher Tang's daughter-in-law came to pick them up. Since the divorce, Teacher Tang has lived a fulfilling life with her son and lived the way she wanted. The relationship between her son and daughter-in-law is stable, and the little granddaughter is successful in her studies. I think she has no regrets. Zhang Yuxi didn't know many of the people who came to the funeral, and their mutual friends at the time gradually lost contact. Looking around, Zhang Yuxi fell on the black and white photo and choked up. A professional team was busy with all the funeral matters. After they sent Teacher Tang on his last journey, they cremated him and scattered his ashes into the sea. Aunt Zhang, this should be what your mother-in-law left for you. Zhang Yuxi was very surprised. How could it be? The daughter-in-law shook her head. Not only yours, but also ours. She has made a will in case of emergency. This is a small box. In addition to a small notebook, there is also a jade bracelet. Zhang Yuxi knows that Teacher Tang herself treasures this bracelet. On the cover of the notebook, there is a paragraph written. Life is like a song, dedicated to my best friend, Zhang Yuxi. Without any extra words, Zhang Yuxi pursed her lips to hold back her tears and looked forward. At the funeral, Teacher Tang's ex-husband also came, looking haggard and downcast. He also came to send Teacher Tang on her last journey. Back at the hotel, Zhang Yuxi looked at the chat records with Teacher Tang and sent a message. Good night, let's play together next time. 3 days later, Zhang Yuxi and his wife said goodbye to Teacher Tang's family and got on the carriage for the return journey. At their age, this kind of thing will happen more and more in the future, and there will be a day when they will not care about life and death. Wife, are you okay? I'm fine. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm sorting out my things. Is there something wrong? No, it's fine. Do you want my help? No, I can do it myself. It has been a week since Teacher Tang passed away. Lin Feng found that after Zhang Yuxi came back, she began to sort out her clothes and jewelry. It always made him feel strange, but Zhang Yuxi's expression was no different from before. Lin Feng folded his arms and watched Zhang Yuxi sort out, occasionally lending a hand. Honey, do you still remember this skirt? You and Zaya Abeo picked it out for me at the mall. Zaya Abeo was in kindergarten at that time. This belt was my favorite before, but I didn't wear it again because I gained weight. Ask Abeo and the others if they want it later. It costs several thousand. Wow, honey, what do you think this is? Zhang Yuxi was like a child, and she was very happy to sort out these things. She came over with 2 skirts. Do you remember when these clothes were worn? Do you remember? Is there any need to explain Lin Feng's memory? This is what you wore before marriage, and this is what you wore after pregnancy. Zhang Yuxi was surprised. How do you know? Did I tell you? The first time they were together in the true sense was when the 4 babies were 2 months old. Lin Feng smiled. You told me. Zhang Yuxi knew that her husband had a good memory, and she muttered, I was so thin when I was young. After marriage, more than half of her clothes and jewelry were bought for her by her husband and children. Especially jewelry, they were all placed in her safe and rarely worn. Tonight, Lin Feng found Zhang Yuxi writing something in the study again. Her eyesight was not good, so Lin Feng walked over and said, What do you want to write? I'll help you. Who knew that Zhang Yuxi, who was so busy that she was absorbed in her work, didn't notice her husband approaching at all, and was startled. Then she hurriedly put the things in the drawer, holding her chest with her hands, looking frightened. This also scared Lin Feng, and he asked with concern, "Are you okay?" He hurried to get her medicine, fearing that something happened to her. Zhang Yuxi took the medicine and her expression was much better. "Honey, why didn't you knock when you came in?" Lin Feng was stunned for a moment, but still said, "I saw your door was not closed, so I came in." The couple worked openly. Zhang Yuxi said, "Oh, I was too busy. What do you want to talk to me about?" Lin Feng's eyes fell on her drawer and naturally retracted. "I came here so that you can rest. It's time to go to bed at this time." Zhang Yuxi looked at the time and it was almost 11 o'clock. "You go first, I'll come after I finish cleaning here." "Okay, I'll wait for you." The next day, Lin Feng couldn't help it and opened the drawer to see what Zhang Yuxi wrote behind his back last night. As a result, he opened the drawer and found nothing, which made Lin Feng even more confused. What kind of thing needs to be hidden from him without letting him find it? Lin Feng was puzzled and didn't ask when Zhang Yuxi came back in the evening. "Have you seen the pictures Jia posted today? Our little grandson is so cute." Zhuan Jia shared the baby's 4D color ultrasound pictures in the group today. As a person who has experienced it, Zhang Yuxi understood it immediately. Those people in the group couldn't even tell the baby's nose and eyes apart. Lin Feng also saw it, but he was embarrassed to say that he couldn't tell the facial features at first. "I video chatted with Sibao today." "Oh, you didn't see it. He has gained too much weight. Here, this is my screenshot. Look at how round his face is now." Chapter 814 I have already written my will. Lin Feng didn't know until he saw it, and he was shocked. "My goodness. I haven't seen him for only 1 or 2 months, how come he is so fat? This must be because he and Jia are taking care of the pregnancy together." Zhang Yuxi said unhappily, "That's right, Jia said that Sibao has a big appetite and can eat more than her." Lin Feng smiled, "It's okay to be fat, it's said that men will gain weight after marriage, it's normal." Zhang Yuxi glanced at her husband and laughed. "When your son gets fat, you still look like this, I wonder what Sibao will think." At the end, Zhang Yuxi looked expectant. This little grandson is in a good time, maybe he will be born during the Chinese New Year. In a blink of an eye, it was late autumn. Xiaobao's filming for several months was finally over, and he lost a lot of weight, which made the couple feel distressed. Xiaobao shared with them the film production level of top foreign teams, and longed for such technology in China. So, Xiaobao decided to start a special effects team. The couple naturally supported it. Funding and connections were no problem. As long as their baby daughter wanted, they would help. After returning to China, Xiaobao was busy with his studies and entrepreneurship, and he was very busy. In December, it snowed lightly in the city, which was rare. This winter, it felt colder than before. Zhang Yuxi actually had frostbite on both hands. The medicine for injuries and frostbite from Lin Feng Pharmaceutical Factory was excellent, and it healed more than half in 3 days. On December 25th, Lin Rui was admitted to the hospital. Over the years, Lin Feng used his connections to give him the best resources. Life always has an end. In the second half of this year, Lin Rui was often tortured by illness and became very thin in just a few months. Lin Feng often went to take care of him and kept him alive. The day after entering the hospital, he fell into coma and the doctor put on the instrument. The whole process was very fast. Within 2 days, Sister Yan also laid down. The 2 children, Lin Feng and Lin Jiajin, were busy running around, and Sister Yan only needed to stay with her husband. In the middle of the journey, he woke up once, as if he knew that the end was coming, and confessed some things. In case of emergencies, the younger generations who could rush back should rush back as soon as possible. The older generation, if they can come, try to come. Sadness hangs over this big family. The doctor said frankly that they didn't know when they would wake up next time. If this goes on, they have to prepare for the worst. Sister Yan has always given people the impression of a gentle personality, which is in sharp contrast to the impatient and bad-tempered Brother Rui. When Brother Rui was not doing anything in his early years, Sister Yan struggled to support the family. When she came back, she finally got a reward, but her personality was completely opposite to Brother Rui. Brother Rui became sensible in his middle age and old age, and his personality became more and more easy to talk to. He was fat and smiled like my trail Buddha. Sister Yan, however, became strong in personality. Over the years, she has taken care of all the big and small things in the family. She is a person who can't sit still and is very good to the younger generations. Now that she is lying down, the younger generations who can come have all arrived, and everyone looks sad. The 2 daughters-in-law and 2 sons take care of her at night. Raymond Lam and Zhang Yuxi came once. They were lying on the hospital bed, wearing oxygen and surrounded by instruments. It was uncomfortable to watch. One night a week later, Zhang Yuxi always felt anxious, as if something bad was going to happen. She couldn't sleep, holding her chest. It was raining outside, and she looked at her phone. It was past 2 in the morning. Lin Feng asked her confusedly, "What's wrong?" "Insomnia." Zhang Yuxi shook her head. "You go to sleep, I'm going to the bathroom." Sanbao is the only one at home now. Several children, including Sibao, came back a few days ago. If possible, it was the last time to see Sister Yan. Dong dong dong, it was Sanbao knocking on the door. The couple looked at each other and had a bad premonition. After opening the door, Sanbao came over with a sad look. "Dad, Mom." Sanbao drove, and when the 3 arrived at the hospital, they heard crying from a distance. They were the first to arrive. When Zhang Yuxi and her husband approached, they saw Sister Yan's son and daughter-in-law were crying. Zhang Yuxi felt like she had something stuck in her throat, and she didn't know how to say comforting words. Sister Yan didn't explain anything. When the 2 sons were keeping vigil, the instrument suddenly sounded, and they hurried to call the doctor. When the doctor came, the person was gone. Zhang Yuxi was even more upset when she found out. As a mother and a wife, she wanted to say goodbye to the people who cared about her before she left. Lin Feng hugged her and comforted her silently. Soon, everyone who could come arrived. The next thing was the funeral. With so many younger generations, Sister Yan's 2 sons were also capable, so they naturally made all the arrangements. It was already 5 in the morning when she got home. The sky was gray and very cold. Zhang Yuxi fell ill when she got home. Despite Lin Feng's careful care, she didn't look better, and even the system's medicine didn't help. Lin Feng panicked for the first time and stayed by Zhang Yuxi's side all day to take care of her carefully. Sanbao had never seen her father's haggard face like this, and she had never seen Zhang Yuxi sick in her memory. "Dad, go and rest, I'll take care of Mom." Lin Feng shook his head and asked, "You didn't tell them?" Sanbao shook her head, "No." Zhang Yuxi was unwell, and Lin Feng asked Sanbao not to tell the children so as not to worry them. "Go and have a rest. You've worked hard these days." "Dad, go and have a rest." Zhang Yuxi was in a bad mental state. She had been sleeping in a daze these days. She closed her eyes when eating and taking medicine while Lin Feng fed her. She was energetic for once in the middle of the night and made various explanations. "I have already written the will and put it in the safe. All her savings over the years, as well as her jewelry, were distributed. My biggest regret is that I didn't see the birth of Sibao's child. Husband. I'm afraid." Lin Feng remembered these words clearly and kept comforting her. If she doesn't get better this time, call all the children back." Fortunately, after a night of thunder and rain, Zhang Yuxi got better. She looked radiant and energetic, even better than before. This made Lin Feng a little confused, but super happy. The 3rd day after she got better was Sister Yan's funeral, and everyone who could come back came back. This time, except for Zhuan Jiai, who was pregnant and inconvenient, all the children came back to attend Sister Yan's funeral. After the funeral, everyone went about their own business, and even the children only stayed at home for 2 days. They found that their mother Zhang Yuxi seemed to have changed. She was no longer so strict, and her brows were relaxed, giving people a relaxed feeling. Even her words became much gentler, no longer admonishing, but saying caring words. Sanbao then told his brothers and sisters that Zhang Yuxi had been ill some time ago. Fortunately, this time there was no danger and they got through it safely. Sanbao was the last to leave, and the nature of her job was relatively free, so she spent more time at home. This time, Zhang Yuxi did not mention getting married, but only told him to take care of his health. Go home often when you have time, and call back when you don't have time. They really wanted to call the children, but they were afraid that it would be inappropriate and affect them. Chapter 815. The past is like flowing water. The children are gone. The house suddenly became empty. Looking at this quiet home, Zhang Yuxi was a little emotional. During this period, I always think about what they looked like when they were young. At that time, although we didn't have so much money, but they were all very cute. At that time, the house was full of laughter. During the day, I went to school to teach, and Lin Feng took care of the baby at home. As his counselor, I had to find ways to help him ask for leave and hide it from my colleagues at school. At that time, in order to prevent Han Wen and teacher Tang from recognizing that her husband was actually their student, she made a lot of jokes. Lin Feng used to be a man of few words. Now people are more and more silent. Zhang Yuxi talked for a long time without saying a word. I'll call my mother. Zhang Yuxi's father passed away a few years ago, and now only her mother who travels around is left. It's really hard to believe. An old lady of such an old age lives a more colorful life than her. I called some time ago and Zhao Lizian joined a club, specifically doing publicity work, and the work is also easy. Zhang Yuxi's persuasion was fruitless, so she just let her do whatever she wanted. The old lady wouldn't listen to her anyway. Mom, what are you busy with today? Practicing Tai Chi. Did you go out to promote? Our club was reported for disturbing the neighbors, and then it was disbanded. Zhang Yuxi held her forehead. What did you do? Zhao Lizian replied, we signed up to participate in the Sunset Red Dance competition. Zhang Yuxi sighed, then why did you start practicing Tai Chi again recently? Zhao Lizian smiled and said, the dance moves are a bit difficult for me to do. I was tired some time ago, so I started to take care of my health. Is it true that the older this old lady gets, the more childlike she becomes? Zhang Yuxi didn't say anything, and then she heard Zhao Lizian say, my great-grandson's due date is coming, I have to take care of myself. In that case, you have to take good care of yourself, take care of the flowers and plants every day, practice Tai Chi, don't toss and turn. This time Zhao Lizian obeyed, I won't toss and turn, I have to wait for my great-grandson to be born. Zhang Yuxi smiled with relief. She had been worried for so many years, and this time she could finally rest assured. But why don't you retire? You are so old, you should give your position to the young people. I am going through the retirement procedures. That's good, you go ahead, I'm hanging up. Zhang Yuxi shook her head and laughed. In early January, we will go to Beijing, will you go? Zhao Lizian immediately said happily, go, take a special plane. Zhang Yuxi smiled, I know it without you saying it. At this age, you still have to take it easy. In early January, the couple went to Beijing happily with gifts for their soon-to-be-born grandson. Zhao Lizian is in good health. In recent years, she has been living alone except for hiring an aunt. During the holidays, or when the grandchildren are free, they will visit her, and they have a good relationship. When asked about Lin Feng's parents, Zhao Lizian made an amazing choice. I will not leave after the rebirth this time, and live with my in-laws. Arriving in Beijing, the people who came to pick her up were Sibao and Zhuan's mother. Lin Feng asked about his daughter-in-law's recent situation, and Sibao replied with a smile, the examination is good, the baby is healthy, and it has entered the pelvis. Back to Lin Feng's home in Beijing, those who can be present will have a simple meal together in the evening. In the next few days, I will visit relatives. The eldest daughter-in-law's family and the second son-in-law's family are all in Beijing. Last year, Keisha changed her position, and she will be busier and move up a level. According to Zhang Yuxi, it is a long way to go for Dabao and his family to have children. After all, both of them are workaholics. And the woman is still in the rising stage of her career, so she probably won't have children so early. Your second sister has been very quiet recently. Lin Feng chatted with Sibao and his son, and thought of Erbao's state during the day, and couldn't help but say it. Sibao and Erbao have the best relationship and can play together the most. He replied while peeling an apple, I don't know, she said she was not feeling well in the past 1 or 2 months and wanted to slow down. Erbao is a busybody, and a workaholic, she has never had a rest in these years. They persuaded her, and Erbao agreed on the surface, but she still worked overtime until 1 or 2 o'clock when she went back. When Lin Feng was free, he would send her medicine to regulate her body. Sibao said, second sister said that she has not been pregnant. It might be due to her lifestyle and fast-paced life. The doctor told her to take a good rest for a while and relax. Maybe the baby will come. Lin Feng sighed, your second sister is a person who will not listen to you until it is a critical moment. Sibao said, second sister's work has been arranged. She will have a good new year this year. She said that second brother-in-law is going to take her on vacation. After that, he pouted, my second brother-in-law is a man. Wow, I just want to see if I can go on vacation this time. Lin Feng glanced over, why are you so gossipy about the couple's affairs? Sibeo chuckled, it's because second sister's expectations are so high that I made a bet with her. I bet 10,000 yuan. I will use this money to buy milk powder for my son. Lin Feng shook his head and laughed, I see, if you earn this money, Erbeo will definitely beat you up. Sibeo didn't care, it doesn't matter, beat me up, just give me the money. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Sibeo. Sibeo was confused, Dad, why are you looking at me like that? Lin Feng sighed, you weren't like this before, you look down on money. Sibeo said half seriously, I'm a father now, and I need money to manage a company. Lin Feng asked about the company again, and Sibeo said it was okay. My father-in-law taught me step by step, and I'm so smart, I learn very quickly. Sibeo has never managed a company, and has always lived freely. I'm afraid he will be constrained in the future. Lin Feng was thinking about it when he heard Sibeo say, Jai said that she will take over the company after she gives birth, and I can just stay at home and take care of the baby. When he said this, Sibeo smiled so happily. Lin Feng was at a loss for words, does your father-in-law have any objections? Sibeo grinned, he had some objections at the beginning, but now he probably sees that I'm not cut out for business, so he gave up. He also asked me to take good care of the child, and it seems that he is pinning his hopes on my son. Zhuan Jiai's business talent is average, so Zhuan's father wanted to find a son-in-law to take over. Unexpectedly, Sibeo is a top student, but he doesn't have much business talent. But what makes Zhuan's father happy is that the Lin family is large and prosperous, and his own business will not fail. So, he happily agreed to the decision that his son-in-law would take care of the child in the future. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 816 The Birth of a Grandson. In a blink of an eye, the due date is approaching. It is snowing in Beijing and the weather is getting colder. The doctor moved the equipment home one after another in case of emergency. These days, Lin Feng's phone kept ringing, and relatives from all walks of life asked every day if the baby was born. It was as if his own son was about to be born. Sibeo, the prospective father, changed his expression of a heartless sunny boy. He was very anxious these days and asked Lin Feng for advice. Lin Feng had no idea, so he asked his son to ask his mother. As a result, Zhang Yuxi ignored him. Isn't there a doctor at home? Go ask the doctor. In the evening, Zhuan Jiai went into labor. The doctor checked and found that she was 2 fingers dilated and could go to the hospital. The whole family went to the hospital in a mighty manner. After waiting until 2 or 3 in the morning, there was still no sign of giving birth, so Zhao Lizian was asked to go back. Zhao Lizian was reluctant, but she really couldn't stand it. Her body couldn't stand it. At 5 in the morning, Lin Feng booked a room for Zhang Yuxi and others in a hotel near the hospital and asked them to go back and rest first. After waiting for a long time, only the doctor, Sibeo, Zhuan Jiai's parents and Lin Feng were left. Erbeo and others were also staying in a nearby hotel. Dad, go and have a rest. I'll call you when the baby is born. Lin Feng shook his head, in good spirits, no, I'll just rest here for a while. Sibeo wanted to say something else, but Lin Feng waved his hand to indicate that it was decided. At 7:30 in the morning, Zhuan Jiai was pushed in. Sibeo gave the doctor a lot of food, including chocolate, energy drinks, etc. Zhuan Jiai was in good spirits, I'll be done with the baby in a while, wait for me. Sibeo nodded heavily, okay, I'll wait for you and the baby. They were quite heroic, and the couple was really a good match. After waiting for a long time, Lin Feng came back from going to the toilet with a bouquet of flowers in his hand. The people who were about to go to the toilet. Sibeo was stunned when he saw his father holding a bouquet of flowers. Dad, you are so ceremonial. You even gave my son flowers to celebrate his birthday. Lin Feng smiled and put the bouquet in his son's arms. When Jiai comes out later, you give this to her. This time it was Sibeo who was stunned. He accepted the flowers and then took out a gift box. This is what I prepared. It's a necklace. Lin Feng. Who said my son is a blockhead? He is very capable. Sibao smiled and said, my second sister taught me. Lin Feng, take back what I said just now. At this time, Zhuan Jiai's mother, Zhang Yuxi, Zhao Lizhen, Erbao and others also came. Erbao brought a small camera to record this important moment. From now on, every child in our family will be recorded. At nearly 8:30, the nurse came out holding a child. Boy, weighing 6.62 pounds, born at 8:08. Sibao asked, where's my wife? The nurse replied, she will be out soon. Sure enough, the nurse was responsible for pushing Zhuan Jiai out, and Sibao hurried over to take over her job. Zhuan Jiai looked in good spirits except for being weak. She couldn't help but smile as she saw the man running towards her. Did you see our child? Sibao hummed twice. I took a quick look, but didn't look closely. Zhuan Jiai said coquettishly, thinking that Sibao was irresponsible, but she felt sweet when she saw him holding flowers and gifts. Erbao was in charge of recording, with envy and happiness on his face. Lin Feng was squeezed to the back, and he just waited quietly. He will get his little grandson sooner or later. Suddenly, Zhang Yuxi's voice sounded, where's old Lin? Lin Feng replied, here. Zhang Yuxi smiled, come and see the child. Fortunately, the single ward was large enough to accommodate so many people. Lin Feng walked over, and the little man on the small bed was red and clean. Even the nurse said that this little baby will definitely be a handsome boy in the future. Lin Feng looked at him, his eyes became gentle, more like Sibao. Zhang Yuxi tilted her head, why do I feel like Jiai? Zhao Lizhen smiled, a newborn baby's facial features haven't grown yet, how can you tell? Everyone laughed. Sibao has always wanted a daughter, but he can accept a son, what else can he do? Now, seeing such a little boy, Sibao thinks that a son is also good. No, they are all good. Although there are regrets, you can continue to have children later. In the afternoon, the couple returned home, and Zhang Yuxi was full of emotion. Lin Feng was carrying a basket and was about to go to the vegetable market to buy vegetables, and Zhang Yuxi hurried to follow him. I want to go too, I want to go too. As for Zhao Lizhen, she had already gone to Erbao's house. At this time after get off work, the vegetable market was very busy, and Lin Feng held Zhang Yuxi's hand. Follow me closely, don't get lost. This sentence made Zhang Yuxi laugh and cry. From the way they talked to their clothes, you can tell at a glance that they are not ordinary old men and women. The two of them squeezed into the crowd to buy food, and Zhang Yuxi followed behind them, looking here and there the whole time. Honey, I want to eat that. Okay, I'll buy it for you later. The Zhuan family hired a confinement nanny, and Zhuan's mother even learned how to make confinement meals for her daughter, so Lin Feng basically didn't need to make confinement meals. But he still wanted to do something for his daughter-in-law, and he couldn't think of anything else except cooking and paying her. The dishes ordered this time were not as fresh as those in the morning, and they were all picked and chosen before, so they were relatively affordable. Lin Feng bought fish, chicken, etc. When he left with Zhang Yuxi, the basket was full, one hand on his shoulder and the other hand on his. Zhang Yuxi followed behind, chewing on the roasted sweet potato, and asked happily, honey, do you want to eat it? Lin Feng shook his head, and Zhang Yuxi tried hard to promote it, try it, it's very sweet, come on. Lin Feng took a bite and praised sincerely, not bad, it's quite delicious. Zhang Yuxi's taste was spoiled by Lin Feng, and she was particularly upset when she encountered unpalatable things outside. Feeling that you have spent money and your stomach is suffering, your mood will become very bad. When you come across delicious food, you will be very happy and feel that the money is worth spending. After returning home, Lin Feng began to busy himself in the kitchen, and Zhang Yuxi helped him by the side, and she kept talking about the child. The timing of the birth of this child is really good, what do you think? It's very good, and the child looks healthy. Well, the doctors and nurses said that his cry is loud, and he is rare. This grandson was born in the expectation of everyone, and even the media are reporting it. Erbao said that it was on the hot search, but they didn't care, after all, they hadn't been online for a long time. Moreover, Lin Feng doesn't like the current online atmosphere. He doesn't watch anything like Vibrato or Little Red Potato. Now he doesn't even log into Weibo. He finds things to do when he has nothing to do in a day. However, he still can't help but check out the news about his grandson. The person who reported it wrote it in great detail. Although there are some discrepancies, it is probably true. For example, this child was born in the expectation of everyone, etc. Chapter 817 Reincarnation is a skill. As for weight and so on, they didn't know where they got the information from. Their family was open and above board, and they didn't avoid the media. There were no frontal photos of the children, only pictures of them going in and out of the hospital, and scenes of themselves and Zhang Yuxi going to the vegetable market to buy vegetables. Now the news is reported in real time, and the food is not ready yet, but the news has been released. For some news, the most interesting thing is the comments. It is much more interesting to read the comments than the main text. At the beginning, the comments were all blessings, but later, the comments changed. Reincarnation is really a technical job, you have everything when you are born, and it is already difficult for us to live. Some people were born in Rome, and some people were born as cows and horses, which is so sour. Just to share the good luck, my baby was born on the same day, I wish you good luck. I want to be reincarnated into the Lin family, sob. I'll queue up first, I want to be the child of Sanbao, the couple are very good looking, I must be very beautiful. I can do anything, I'm not picky, can you really do it? Others are academic masters, and I, an academic master, dare not reincarnate. It doesn't matter, I can be a little ordinary, I just want them to be my parents. Grandpa Lin, are you still in need of grandchildren? The kind in their 20s? I can act cute, I am very obedient, why don't you consider me? There are so many rich people in the world, I am not a big deal, why don't you give me a chance? Is it that serious? It's just giving birth to a child, and it's on the hot search, okay, I admit that I'm jealous. Lin Feng was holding a tablet, and Zhang Yuxi smiled and turned off the fire. How long will it take to stew? Lin Feng said without raising his head, stew for 20 minutes. He logged into Weibo, because he hadn't logged in for a long time, he had to re-enter the password to verify, but fortunately he had a good memory and it was bound to his mobile phone. After successfully logging in, he took a look at the previous status. Well, it was still when Jia was pregnant, and I was happy to give myself a red envelope reward. At this time, he waved his pen and drew a lottery to give away luxury gifts. Today is a special day, my first grandson was born, thank you for your blessings. At the same time, I also want to share my blessings with everyone. Red envelope, red envelope, red envelope. Someone immediately started grabbing it in the comment area, and then more people followed suit, and it was very lively for a while. Raymond Lam put down his tablet with a smile and went to see how it would go. As soon as he made this big payment, many cute people added him on Sibao's account, asking him to express his gratitude. No matter how much money it is, it's just a token of appreciation, and the main thing is that everyone likes to join in the fun. Sibao's account has always been very active, sharing his work, his fitness, his family, etc. He is a very down-to-earth rich man. 10 minutes later, Sibao learned about this news. Today I am a father, and I celebrate with everyone. As a new father, encountering such a big happy event, Sibao was generous. Everyone found out that Erbao, Sanbao and others were also scrambling for red envelopes. Everyone was happy. After a while, Raymond Lam and Zhang Yuxi came to the hospital with confinement meals, and the doctor was examining them. It was inconvenient for him, so he asked Zhang Yuxi to bring the things in and he stood guard outside the door. He sat on a bench in the corridor, looking at the wall, which contained information about newborn care and so on. He read with great interest, memorizing all the methods and techniques mentioned above. He had raised several children by hand, but it had been more than 30 years. Now he is asked to take care of babies, but he really doesn't know how to do it. The doctor and the nurse came out, and Lin Feng waited for a few more minutes before knocking on the door and entering the room. The doctor came to check, and everything was fine. As for the baby, he had been taken for a checkup. Only Zhuan's mother and the confinement nanny were in the ward. Zhang Yuxi was concerned about her daughter-in-law and asked about her health. Zhuan Jianyi was eating the food sent by Lin Feng. They were both stewed fish soup, but she felt that her father-in-law's was better, fresher, and without that earthy smell. Seeing that she was eating happily, Zhang Yuxi turned around and said to Lin Feng, "Old Lin, I'll let you make the confinement meals in the future. Jianyi loves them." Lin Feng naturally had no objection, okay. After Jianyi finished eating, Lin Feng took the thermos bucket and prepared to go back to make dinner. "Are you going back?" Zhang Yuxi shook her head. You go back and get busy, I'll sit for a while. The main reason was that she didn't see her grandson. It would be a pity to leave now. Although she also wanted to see her grandson, her daughter-in-law's confinement meals were also very important, so she walked back. The baby changes every day. In just a few days, the child has grown into a snow-white fat baby, looking very cute. The full name is Lin Feng, which is a word that Sibeo found in the dictionary. The nickname is Tuanzi, and Erbeo smiled and said, my future child will be called Sesame Ball. As soon as this topic was opened, Erbeo shouted in the group, saying that the child's name should be named after a delicious dish in the future. This really stumped Sibeo. As a foodie, he was so entangled. In the end, it was decided to call him Tuanzi. When Tuanzi came home, the crib had been prepared early, and the little one was sleeping soundly in the bed. Zhao Lizian secretly read the fortune for the child, and all the fortunes were good, and she was overjoyed. However, she could only tell her daughters about this, because she was worried that they would be unhappy if they knew. It said that this child will be smart, good at studying, and good at doing business in the future. When people get old, they sometimes start to be superstitious, and Zhang Yuxi is no exception. Very good. Zhao Lizian continued, I asked him to read the fortune for Erbeo again, and he said that she will have a son and a daughter in this life, which is very good. It also said that she is a worrying person, and her children will have to worry about her in the future. While the mother and daughter were talking, Lin Feng and his son were in another room, sorting things for the child. Sibeo and his wife had discussed it, and the woman would be the breadwinner and the man would be the homemaker in the future, so they had to hurry up and learn now. Lin Feng smiled, you read it well. When I took care of you, there was no confinement nanny or babysitter. Sibeo knew, Dad, I always think you are very good, a very great father. Lin Feng smiled. In the eyes of outsiders, it is not easy to train several children to be talented. To have a place in their respective fields, it also depends on their abilities. Sibeo's house has 4 bedrooms, 2 living rooms and 2 bathrooms. It is planned to have a master bedroom, a children's room, an aunt's room and a guest room. In this way, Lin Feng and his wife will live in the guest room, and Zhao Lizian will still live in Erbeo's house. On the night of returning, the eldest daughter-in-law Keisha came over with nutritional supplements, and Sanbeo hurried back with baby toys to see the children. Lin Feng and Zhuan's father cooked, and the others helped and chatted in the dining room. Zhuan's father's main role is to help, and he is quite considerate. Looking at the way and speed of his father-in-law cooking, he was stunned. Wash this. Peel this. Pick this. Chapter 818, Funny Brothers and Sisters. 2 hours later, Lin Feng prepared a large table of food, as well as confinement meals for his daughter-in-law. Come on, eat. Sanbeo came non-stop and went to Sibeo's house to sleep in the guest room. He was more energetic. Erbeo looked at Sanbeo while eating. Sanbeo has always been focused on his career, and he still looks so beautiful and young. Looking at Tuanzi, she sometimes thinks, the child of Samima Yi and Xiao Yuang is a mixed-race child, so he must be very beautiful. But Sanbeo said that she didn't plan to have children. Because of this, she had a quarrel with Xiao Yuang. Everyone is not young anymore, and Xiao Yuang is older than Sanbeo. He wants to start a family and he wants children. In an interview, Xiao Yuang also publicly stated that he wanted 3 children, and as long as Sanbeo is willing to have them, he is willing to give everything. In response, Sanbeo sneered and didn't pay much attention. Sanbeo ate with his eyes and nose, and then went to see the little Tuanzi. Erbeo moved his eyes to Dabeo again, intentionally or unintentionally. Dabeo and Sanbeo are the same kind of people. No matter how Erbeo looks at them, they remain unmoved. Dabeo finished his meal and went to the living room to eat fruit. Erbeo looked at Keisha again. Everyone present was not an ordinary person. Keisha finished her meal without looking away and left. Erbeo looked at Sibeo, then looked away and didn't look at him again. Sibeo was unhappy. No, what do you mean? Erbeo pouted, looking disgusted. Sibeo served another bowl of rice, and Erbeo watched from behind and laughed. 4th child, I noticed that you have gained a lot of weight recently. What's wrong? Are you pregnant too? Zhang Yuxi laughed at her. 2nd treasure, talk nicely. 2nd treasure smiled. Mom, I'm not wrong, look at how fat he is now. I guess he will become a fat uncle in the future. 4th treasure sat down and bickered with 2nd treasure. Do you live by the sea? Why are you so nosy? Second treasure shook his head. Yes, 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 I live by the sea. What's wrong? Zhang Yuxi used to have a headache watching the siblings, but now her mood is different. She is watching with interest. Just treat it as watching a crosstalk. Anyway, you don't have to buy tickets. She is not a fence sitter. She will say a word for this one, and then a few words for that one. The main thing is to be casual. After dinner, the job of washing the dishes fell to the children. Second treasure stood at the door with his arms folded, chatting with everyone. Keisha and third treasure were busy. She wanted to help, but the kitchen was so small. With an island counter, she could only chat with everyone. Urbeo, how many days will you stay this time? Sister-in-law, is my eldest brother often not at home during this period? Oh, it's okay. He has a lot of projects now, so it's normal to be busy. Although Keisha is a diplomat and can talk freely, she is actually a taciturn person like Dabeo. After Urbeo got to know her to a certain extent, he always laughed at them. How do two taciturn people communicate at home? Dabeo and Sanbeo are not talkative people, so it is basically Urbeo who chatters non-stop. Sibeo came over with a smile. Oh, how can a child be so cute? Urbeo looked at him. I said, why don't you install a dishwasher? It's so tiring to wash dishes. Sibeo snorted, you know shit, being busy in the kitchen is the life of fireworks, and the dishes washed by the dishwasher have no soul. Urbeo raised his hand to hit, I am your second sister, talk to me properly. At this time, Sibeo chuckled twice and smiled with his hands covering his mouth. Oh, sorry, I accidentally put two, is that disrespectful to you? Urbeo's eyes widened, I'll beat you. Sibeo smiled, I'm afraid of you. This funny couple made everyone laugh and cry. Zhang Yuxi scolded them. Keep your voice down. The child is still sleeping. Urbeo glared at Sibeo, Mom, the upstairs is well soundproofed, he can't hear it. Sibeo also glared at her, did you hear that? Don't wake up my son, be careful I'll beat you. Urbeo gritted his teeth, hey, I can't deal with you, right? If you have the guts, let's go out and fight. Sibeo rolled his eyes, really asking for a beating. Let's go, who's afraid of who? They're all fathers, but they are still so childish. Zhang Yuxi didn't know what to say. Turning to the old couple of the Zhuan family, he said, I have caused you a lot of trouble. The two naturally shook their heads. Their daughter likes the son-in-law's immature look, saying that she will definitely have common topics with the child in the future. I believe that Sibeo can educate the child well. Outside, the siblings were ready to fight. Both of them were rubbing their fists, and Keisha was very worried. Should we stop them? She learned from Dabeo that brothers and sisters all had some fighting skills. She used to think that Sibeo was the most powerful. After all, he was an athlete and had some talent. Unexpectedly, she learned that the most powerful of the four was Sanbeo. His explosive power was amazing, and no one could beat him. Thinking of this, Keisha couldn't help but look at Sanbeo. Sanbeo smiled, no need to stop them, they know when to stop. Dabeo also watched with interest. The old couple of the Zhuan family looked worried. Having too many children is not good, there will always be fights. Turning around, they found that Lin Feng and his wife looked like they were watching a show. So, the two started fighting. How to say it, compared with the speed on TV, it was a little slower. But, the fight was still very exciting. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Urbeo was at a disadvantage. Sibeo laughed at her, oh, you can't do it, second sister. Urbeo gritted his teeth, it's because you've gained weight recently. Sibeo laughed, I can't beat him, blame me for gaining weight, I'm going to be laughed to death. Later, Sibeo began to let him win, and Urbeo saw it. She was sad, I won't fight anymore. Sibeo asked quickly, what's wrong? Have you faced reality? Just when he was relaxed, Urbeo succeeded in a sneak attack. Looking at Sibeo lying on the ground, Urbeo smiled with his hands on his hips, haha, fighting with me, overestimating yourself. Sibeo also laughed, what's the point of beating me? Beating my brother-in-law is the real skill. Urbeo was speechless, do you have any shame? Sibeo smiled, what's the point of having shame? Urbeo looked disgusted and scared, don't be like this, what if Tuanzi learns from you in the future? Sibeo looked proud, I'm so good, what's wrong with learning from me? Urbeo felt that Sibeo's brain had been like a bubble in recent years, and didn't care about him. After this lively scene, Urbeo felt unwell. I didn't think so much at first, until I came out of the bathroom. Erbao's face changed. Mom. Zhang Yuxi was pulled aside by her daughter. What's wrong? Only then did she realize that her daughter's face looked wrong. What's wrong? Erbao whispered. Zhang Yuxi turned around and called Lin Feng over. Old Lin, come here. Lin Feng walked to her side in confusion. Zhang Yuxi lowered her voice and said, Erbao seems to be pregnant. Lin Feng glanced at Erbao not far away, smiled and said, it's a good thing to be pregnant. Why are you being so sneaky? Zhang Yuxi thought about it and thought, yes. With their family's current financial situation, even if Erbao gave birth to octuplets, they could afford it. Thinking of this, Zhang Yuxi pulled Erbao into the house and taught her about pregnancy. Chapter 819 Xia Erbao's coming-of-age ceremony. 5 years later. Lin Deshan and Zhou Qilan passed away. Xia Erbao grew up to 18 years old. He was considered an adult, and the school was preparing to hold a coming-of-age ceremony. So he added all the parents in the parent group and sent a message. Husband, did you see the message in the parent group? This Friday, the school will hold a coming-of-age ceremony for the senior high school students. Zhang Yuxi asked Lin Feng with a smile, are you going to attend it tomorrow, or should I go? Such an important day. Let's go together, otherwise Xia Erbao will be sad. Yes, Zhang Yuxi agreed. The next morning, Lin Feng was still sleeping when he heard a voice urging him. Husband, it's time to get up. Lin Feng felt someone patting his face in a daze. The next second, he opened his eyes and saw Zhang Yuxi's face. I don't know why, but he has started to sleep more recently. Maybe it's because of his age. Although the system helps, it can't resist the cycle of life and death. What time is it now? Let me sleep a little longer. Lin Feng rubbed his eyes and said sleepily. Oh, don't sleep anymore. Get up quickly. At 10 o'clock, we still have to go to school to attend Xia Erbao's coming-of-age ceremony. Zhang Yuxi pushed Lin Feng, and then simply lifted the quilt. Hearing the word coming-of-age ceremony, Lin Feng finally reacted and stood up. That's right. We are going to attend Xia Erbao's coming-of-age ceremony today. Wife, what time is it now? Lin Feng asked Zhang Yuxi. It's almost 9 o'clock, you should hurry up and get up, wash up and have breakfast. It will be almost time for us to go there later. Zhang Yuxi urged. Yes, okay. 10 minutes later. After breakfast, Lin Feng returned to the room. He saw Zhang Yuxi facing the mirror, dressing up beautifully. After all, this is Xia Erbao's coming-of-age ceremony, and as parents, they can't embarrass Xia Erbao. So, Lin Feng also went to the bathroom and took a good bath. After taking a bath, he blew his hair and changed into a handsome suit. If there is nothing to do, in such a hot place like Yangchang, Lin Feng often only wears shorts at home. But today is different. Going to school to attend Xia Erbao's coming-of-age ceremony, you can't be so careless. Even if you don't care, you have to take Xia Erbao's face into consideration. Wife, how about me wearing this dress? Lin Feng walked over and asked Zhang Yuxi. Sure. Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng. Although they have been married for many years, Lin Feng's handsomeness is still the same as before. The two of them tidied up in the room for a while. Seeing that it was almost 9:30, the two picked up their things and prepared to go to school. Half an hour later, the two drove to the school. At this time, the senior high school coming-of-age ceremony was about to begin. When Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi arrived, many students had already run out of the classroom. The students laughed and played, heading to the playground where the coming-of-age ceremony was held. The atmosphere was very cheerful and lively. At the door of the classroom, there were still many parents standing. Some familiar faces came into the eyes of Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi. Mr. Lin. You are here to attend the child's coming-of-age ceremony. A middle-aged man with a big belly, wearing a Rolex and a Versace suit, came over with a smile and greeted Lin Feng. Lin Feng knew the man. He was the father of Xia Erbao's current deskmate. Yes. You came quite early. Lin Feng smiled and nodded, and then the man started chatting with Lin Feng. On the other side, Xia Erbao's mother, long time no see, why do you feel younger again? A beautiful woman wearing stockings, high heels, and red curly hair greeted Zhang Yuxi with a smile. Her child was also in the same class as Xia Erbao and others. The children were familiar with each other, and so were the parents. No way. I think you have lost a lot of weight. Zhang Yuxi replied politely. The big wavy beautiful woman smiled when she heard this. Recently, She has indeed been losing weight. When she heard Zhang Yuxi say that she had lost weight, she was naturally full of joy. People always like to hear nice words. Just then, the long-lost system voice sounded in Lin Feng's mind. Hearing the system's voice, Lin Feng was stunned and his expression was a little weird. Ding! Congratulations to the host for raising Xiaobao to adulthood, life progress 5/5. Because the host has successfully completed all life progress, the father's love is like a mountain system will soon expire. Before the expiration, the system will give the host a choice, allowing the host to choose any one of the following items: time shuttle, elixir of immortality, right to use a small country. After hearing the system's voice, Lin Feng was a little restless. However, at this stage, he has indeed completed all the things a father should do. If he really has to choose one of these things, he will undoubtedly choose the time shuttle. His biggest regret in this life, it is that he didn't meet Zhang Yuxi earlier. If he could do it again, he would like to meet Zhang Yuxi at her best age and have a vigorous love. In this life, due to the children, the two of them can only spend their energy on the four treasures and Xiaobao every day. I choose the time shuttle. Lin Feng's voice fell. Randomly, a machine appeared in the system space. After the system message was fed back to Lin Feng also had a deep understanding of this machine. But soon, the function of the system began to fail. From today, he can no longer get the system reward for a certain thing. But the system is still bound to him. As long as he needs, he can chat with the system at any time and ask it to explain a certain existing function. And the time shuttle, as the name suggests, it allows the user to go back to the past. However, due to the limitations of parallel time and space, it can only go back to Zhang Yuxi's high school period at most, and it can only be used 3 times. After using it 3 times, the time shuttle automatically fails and becomes waste. The price is still quite high. Lin Feng was shocked. This is the most incredible reward the system has given him so far. It can actually travel through time and space. But this is also the last reward the system gives him. At this time, Lin Feng wanted to take out this machine and study it carefully, but the coming of age ceremony was about to begin, so it was obviously not the right time. Dad, Mom. Clear, pleasant and soft voices rang out. Xiaobao ran over with his classmates, and Xiaobao ran over and hugged Lin Feng tightly. Xiaobao was very touched that his parents could come to attend his coming of age ceremony. Dad, why do you look unhappy? Xiaobao jumped in front of Lin Feng and asked with some confusion. Nothing. Just some emotion. Time flies too fast. Watching you grow from a little bean to a young girl, and your mother and I are old. Xiaobao smiled and comforted Lin Feng. Oh, Dad, why are you saying this? You are not old, you can live another 100 years. At this time, Zhang Yuxi came over. Seeing that Xiaobao's skirt was crooked, she immediately squatted in front of Xiaobao and fixed it. Mom, why are you wearing this color socks today? Zhang Yuxi actually wore a pair of gray stockings today, which made Xiaobao feel bright. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, what's wrong? Doesn't it look good? It looks good, very fashionable. Xiaobao said seriously. Zhang Yuxi burst out laughing. She thought, what does this have to do with fashion? Chapter 820 Restarting Life. After attending Xiaobao's coming of age ceremony, Lin Feng returned home and went to the top floor of the villa to prepare for fitness. But soon, he thought of one thing, that is, the time-space shuttle rewarded by the system. Lin Feng came into the house and took out the time-space shuttle from the system space. A machine the size of a washing machine immediately appeared in front of Lin Feng. This is the so-called time-space shuttle. It can allow Lin Feng to return to the world where Zhang Yuxi was in high school. However, it can only be used 3 times at most. If it is used more than 3 times, or if something unexpected happens, such as accidental death, then you will never be able to come back and can only stay in that world. After understanding this, Lin Feng frowned and pondered. Although it is a bit dangerous. But now both Zhang Yuxi and I are old. If you can restart your life, it may not be a bad thing. But going back to the past, I don't know what will happen, and I don't know if I can get the status and life I deserve in that world if I go back empty-handed. Although this machine is magical, it is also accompanied by unknowns and risks. Lin Feng thought about it and temporarily gave up the idea of trying, but at this moment, the phone rang. He picked up the phone and saw that it was Xiaobao calling. Dad, what are you doing? What's wrong? Come to Xiamen quickly, I need your help. Oh, I can't explain it for a while, come quickly. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Lin Feng left the room and drove away in a hurry. Erbao's tone was hurried just now, and he didn't know what trouble he encountered. He drove his sports car casually and left in a hurry to find Erbao, and even the time-space shuttle was not retracted into the system space. The turning point of the matter came. As soon as Lin Feng left, Zhang Yuxi came to the bedroom to find Lin Feng. Strange. You clearly told me just now. Let me come over and show me something. After looking around, Zhang Yuxi didn't see Lin Feng in the room, and couldn't help feeling a little confused. At this moment, she noticed that there was an extra machine in the bedroom. The appearance looked very much like a washing machine. Zhang Yuxi subconsciously walked over and began to study it. What is this? Did you call me here just to see this thing? Zhang Yuxi bent over and reached out to touch the machine. She was just curious. As a result, she accidentally touched a button. The next second, the time machine began to tremble violently. Oh. Seeing this, Zhang Yuxi was frightened and took a few steps back, thinking that it would not explode. However, at this moment, the time machine suddenly burst into dazzling and bright light. It was impossible to open her eyes, and Zhang Yuxi subconsciously covered her eyes with her hands. What's going on? Why do I feel like I'm being sucked in? Zhang Yuxi felt a strong attraction from the machine. She couldn't hold on and began to move a little bit. Ah! Accompanied by a scream. Zhang Yuxi's whole body instantly disappeared from the spot and was sucked into the time machine. With a click, something fell out. It turned out to be Zhang Yuxi's mobile phone. The time machine will isolate everything that does not belong to that world, and can only take people back to the past. Parallel world, Magic City. Compared with the world today, the Magic City at that time was naturally not so prosperous and magnificent, but as an international metropolis, the flow of people was still very terrible. The streets were crowded with people and cars were coming and going, a thriving scene. Magic City No. 3 High School. Zhang Yuxi's figure appeared at the school gate. Looking at the surrounding environment, her mind was at a loss. Why am I here? This is No. 3 Middle School. Looking at the school gate, Zhang Yuxi's thoughts were a little confused. She just touched the machine, how could she suddenly appear in Magic City No. 3 Middle School? As a native of Magic City, Zhang Yuxi had heard of Magic City No. 3 Middle School. Although it can't be compared with the high school she attended in high school, it is also a well-known key high school. Ding-ling-ling. Just as Zhang Yuxi was stunned and her thoughts were drifting away, the school bell suddenly rang. Immediately afterwards, high school students began to come out of the school gate one after another. Looking at the young and immature faces, Zhang Yuxi was moved by the scene and thought of her high school days. Look! What a beautiful young lady. With her elegant temperament and impeccable appearance, Zhang Yuxi instantly attracted the attention of many students who came out. Wow! She is really beautiful. Is she a senior in the 3rd year of high school? She doesn't look like a student in her dress and temperament. Instead, she looks more like a teacher. Teacher? How come I have never seen her before? Is she new? Puzzled, curious, and amazed eyes gathered on Zhang Yuxi, and even the security guard came out. He asked Zhang Yuxi if she was looking for a student. Zhang Yuxi took out her mobile phone and looked at her appearance. Oh my god. She has become younger. She looks like she was 17 or 18 years old. She was about to speak, but then a figure came out of the school gate, making Zhang Yuxi's smart eyes widen little by little. Brother Feng, Wang Yao seems to be following us from behind. By the way, has Wang Yao confessed to you? A thin boy walked with a tall figure. The two seemed to be good friends. Well, she confessed, but I rejected her, said the tall boy. His face was very handsome, no worse than those young male stars. He was Lin Feng in high school. Although Lin Feng looked a little immature at that time, he was too handsome. Even with ordinary clothes and makeup, he was still handsome. He was a celebrity in school, and many schoolmates had asked for his QQ number. Hey, why reject her? Wang Yao is beautiful and has a good family background. I think she is totally okay. The thin boy didn't understand. If Wang Yao pursued him, he would definitely agree without any conditions. Lin Feng smiled and said, why don't you go talk to her? I would like to, but I'm not worthy. The thin boy was very self-aware. While the two were chatting, Lin Feng suddenly noticed that a burning gaze was staring at him. He looked at Zhang Yuxi. He didn't know that the beautiful woman in front of him was his future wife. Old husband. Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but shout. Lin Feng was confused. He looked around hurriedly. Was his husband calling him? He never thought that Lin Feng would be called decades later because he did not read the instructions of the time machine carefully. If he used this time machine, he would travel to Zhang Yuxi's high school and become her classmate. But if it was used by Zhang Yuxi, the one who went back to the past would become Zhang Yuxi, and he would also appear in Zhang Yuxi's world. Why did you become younger? No. Zhang Yuxi said in disbelief. How did you appear in a high school in the Magic City? You are a high school student now. Although Lin Feng's face has become much younger than it is now, and he is still wearing a high school uniform. But after sleeping in the same bed with Lin Feng for so many years, Zhang Yuxi believes that she will never recognize the wrong person. This is definitely Lin Feng, her husband, Zhang Yuxi, she can be 100% sure. Chapter 821, Could it be that I have returned to the past? Are you talking to me? Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yuxi and asked with a puzzled expression. He felt that the other party was a little weird, and what he said was inexplicable, and he couldn't understand it at all. Zhang Yuxi was stunned for a moment, because Lin Feng's words and expressions showed that he didn't recognize her at all. Zhang Yuxi's mind was spinning rapidly. She knew that there must be something wrong with some link. Why was Lin Feng still in high school? Could it be that? Zhang Yuxi was shocked by this idea. Could it be that she went back to the past? Yes, it must be like this. Smart Zhang Yuxi immediately realized the key. It must be that the machine that was like a washing machine had a problem, and it took her to the past. Without time to think about how to go back, Zhang Yuxi reacted and looked at Lin Feng. Yes. Of course I'm talking to you. After that, she smiled and walked in front of Lin Feng. For some reason, seeing Lin Feng in high school made her feel quite interesting. You are worthy of being my husband. You are so handsome in high school. It seems that what you told me about many girls chasing you in high school is true. While talking, Zhang Yuxi was slightly excited and grabbed Lin Feng's hand. She was completely familiar with him subconsciously. Oh my gosh. Lin Feng's scalp was numb, and he said depressedly, You call me husband? Beautiful sister, did you get the wrong person? I am not your husband. I asked you, is your name Lin Feng? Yes. Lin Feng was confused. How did the other party know his name? That's right. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, You are my husband. I didn't recognize the wrong person. Well, to be precise, you will be my husband in the future. Zhang Yuxi spoke loudly, and all the students passing by or staying around heard it. At this time, passers-by were shocked, including the thin boy next to him, who was already dumbfounded. Damn. Is it so exciting? ? We are both high school students, and you have a wife? ? Some men's back teeth are about to break. Because Zhang Yuxi is really beautiful. Especially the kind of cold and noble temperament, even if you call the school belle of Magic City No. 3 middle school, you can't compare. The key is that Zhang Yuxi also has a mature and intellectual temperament, which is a fatal temptation for young men who are full of blood. It can be said that all kinds of buffs are stacked. Not far behind Lin Feng stood two tall girls. One of them was very delicate, wearing a white suspender skirt, twin ponytails, white canvas shoes, straight and slender legs and very white. This whiteness is so obvious that even the blood vessels can be seen. Her name is Wang Yao, and she is one of Lin Feng's suitors. At this time, Wang Yao felt that the whole person was not good, and she stared at Zhang Yuxi with a slightly hostile look and kept looking at her. Who is this woman? She actually said that Lin Feng is her future husband? ? Ridiculous. Lin Feng himself felt even more ridiculous. After all, he is not a 3-year-old child. If a strange beautiful big sister stood in front of you now and said that she was your future daughter-in-law, would you take it seriously? Of course, regardless of whether he believed it or not, Lin Feng was still very happy in his heart, because Zhang Yuxi was really too beautiful, with fair skin and beautiful appearance, and a height of nearly 1.7 meters. She was the type that Lin Feng liked. Little sister, do I look like a fool who is easy to deceive? Lin Feng was speechless and questioned Zhang Yuxi. Tell me, what is your real purpose? Zhang Yuxi knew that Lin Feng would not believe such words. In fact, it was too outrageous. Even she herself could not accept the reality of traveling through time and space. While Zhang Yuxi was silent, Lin Feng walked away directly. It was afternoon school time, and it was not a good thing for him to block the school gate. Why are you following me? Lin Feng turned around and suddenly found Zhang Yuxi following him. I don't know where to go. Zhang Yuxi was telling the truth. In fact, she was quite helpless at the moment. Fortunately, she saw Lin Feng when she traveled through time. Otherwise, she would definitely collapse in the face of this situation that modern science could not explain. Lin Feng had a headache, thinking that this beautiful woman who spoke inexplicably would not pester him, right? What is he after? He is a poor student, so it seems that there is nothing good to be after. Could it be that he is greedy for his body? How about I buy you a cup of milk tea, and you let me go? Lin Feng said casually. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yuxi seemed quite happy when she heard this. Okay, then buy it for me. So Lin Feng took Zhang Yuxi to the milk tea shop at the school gate, and Zhang Yuxi asked for a cup of taro strawberry milk tea. This cup of milk tea costs 15 yuan. Lin Feng's heart is bleeding. You know, Lin Feng is still a student who receives various subsidies from the country and the school to go to school. He also works part-time during holidays. In short, he is very short of money. 15 yuan, this is his meal money for a day. Why don't you buy yourself a cup? Zhang Yuxi asked Lin Feng puzzledly. Lin Feng said frankly, because I don't like milk tea. Zhang Yuxi said, then drink fruit tea. Don't you like passion fruit? Huh? How do you know I like passion fruit? Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yuxi warily again. He always felt that the other party knew him too well. I have said that I am your future wife. I came from the future. Why don't you believe me? Zhang Yuxi's tone was quite helpless. Lin Feng muttered, if I believe you, I would be abnormal. At this time, Zhang Yuxi seemed to realize something, and asked Lin Feng with her eyes straight, you don't have money, do you? Lin Feng was speechless for a moment. Zhang Yuxi saw Lin Feng's expression and knew that he was right. Why didn't you say it earlier? At worst, I would pay for it, and I can also buy you a drink. While talking, Zhang Yuxi touched her pocket, but it was empty. Her face froze instantly. Where is my mobile phone? Question mark. Okay, I've bought you some milk tea. We agreed that you are not allowed to follow me again. After saying that, Lin Feng ran away. Looking at Lin Feng's departing figure, Zhang Yuxi's pretty face showed a sly smile. A few minutes later, Lin Feng's figure appeared in a dilapidated old city near the high school. The house he rented was here, 200 yuan a month. When he came to the room and took out the key and was about to open the door, Lin Feng suddenly found a figure not far away. A question mark slowly appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Fuck, sister, why are you still following me? Lin Feng almost vomited blood. Who is this? Is she a stalking nymphomaniac? Who is the sister? Zhang Yuxi's face suddenly darkened. Did you agree not to follow me? Lin Feng was speechless again. You believe what the beauty said? Zhang Yuxi laughed. I don't know why, when she said this, she felt like she was teaching her husband a lesson when he was a child. It was very interesting. Fuck. Lin Feng swore that this was the first time he met such a rogue beauty. Are all the beauties nowadays so unreasonable? I admit that you are beautiful, but if you continue like this, I will call the police. Lin Feng tried to threaten, but Zhang Yuxi didn't listen. She came to Lin Feng and looked at the dilapidated surroundings. The ceiling was broken and there were many spider webs. Have you lived alone in this place for a long time? Zhang Yuxi knew that her husband had a hard time in the past, but she had never been able to experience it personally. Now she finally felt it truly. What's wrong? Do you look down on the poor? Obviously, Lin Feng misunderstood what Zhang Yuxi meant. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, don't worry, life won't always be so hard. In the future, you will be super rich. You will become the richest man in the world. By the way, you will have 4 lovely children, quadruplets. The children are very attached to you and like you. You will live a very happy life every day after marriage. Puff. Lin Feng laughed directly. Damn quadruplets. Am I that awesome? Facing Lin Feng's strong doubts, Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng with a smile in her eyes, but answered seriously, yes, I gave birth to you, so how could I not know that? Chapter 822, My Wife from High School? On the other side, in a parallel world, Lin Feng had returned home from the Xiaominao area, carrying a bag of things in his hand. It was Erbao who asked him to help carry it home. However, when he returned home, Lin Feng found that Zhang Yuxi was missing. He called but no one answered. Where is mom? Lin Feng came to the living room and asked Zia Abeo who was watching TV. I don't know. I've been watching TV. Zia Abeo thought for a while and then said. Well. Lin Feng scratched his head. Where would his wife go? She must have gone to buy vegetables. The vegetable market was too noisy to hear the phone clearly. Lin Feng thought so in his heart. Anyway, Lin Feng didn't think much about it. Then he returned to the bedroom. As soon as he entered, Lin Feng noticed a mobile phone that fell in front of the time-space shuttle. When he picked it up, it was his wife Zhang Yuxi's mobile phone. In an instant, Lin Feng had a bad premonition in his heart. Could it be? System. System, are you there? Lin Feng called in his heart, and the first thing he thought of was to ask the system for help. Yes, host, what advice do you have? The system's voice sounded immediately. Lin Feng asked anxiously, I'm asking you, was my wife taken away by the time machine? Yes, she accidentally touched the time machine button and entered the factory in Zhang Yuxi. The system explained, it is estimated that she has already descended into the parallel world for a while. Sure enough. Lin Feng knew that he was not wrong, and he became even more anxious. Then what should I do? There are unknown risks in going back to the past. Is there any way to get her back? Lin Feng asked. There is no way. Once she is taken to the parallel world, she must wait for the time to be forced to come back, unless... The system's voice dragged for a while. Unless what? The time machine can only carry one person. Unless you go in, she can be forced to go offline and come back. Hearing this, Lin Feng breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he can get his wife back, this price is nothing. So next, Lin Feng wrote a few paragraphs on manuscript paper and put them on the workbench. As long as Zhang Yuxi came out of the time machine later, she would be able to see it. Because he was afraid that Zhang Yuxi would be confused about this experience after she came back, and to prevent her from looking for him all over the world, Lin Feng prepared in advance and wrote these words to explain where he was going. After doing this, Lin Feng decisively restarted the time-space shuttle. With a dazzling white light rushing towards him, the next second, Lin Feng's figure disappeared on the spot. High school world, here I come. As Lin Feng started the time-space machine, Zhang Yuxi's body disappeared on the spot on the other parallel world, leaving little Lin Feng dumbfounded, with a look of seeing a ghost. At the same time, Lin Feng's figure also appeared in the magic city of the parallel world. In this world, Lin Feng became a classmate of Zhang Yuxi in the same school, only 1 year younger than Zhang Yuxi. Because of her outstanding appearance, the name Zhang Yuxi is very famous in the whole high school, and even many brothers in the first year of high school have a crush on her. Is this Coke Internet Cafe? Lin Feng looked around at the surrounding buildings, and an internet cafe on the roadside caught his eye. If nothing unexpected happens, this Coke Internet Cafe will still be there in the future. It seems to be very close to the old house that my father-in-law used to live in. Lin Feng walked on the road and looked around. Compared with now, the road structure of Shanghai has not changed much. And Lin Feng, who has lived in Shanghai for a period of time, is naturally very familiar with Shanghai. So after thinking for a while, Lin Feng immediately determined his current location. This is Xingguo Avenue. Coke Internet Cafe is a prominent landmark. A dance organization. A group of beautiful girls just came out of dance practice, looking about 17 or 18 years old, all wearing dance costumes, white tights, tall figures, and elegant manners. They all have buns, delicate looks, fair skin and beautiful looks. There is no ugly one. Some are pure, some are cute, and some are queens. They have their own merits, which can be said to be a beautiful landscape. Yuxi, do you want to have dinner together later? No, I have to go home first, and my phone is running out of battery. Okay, then Xiao and I will go eat chicken pot. Okay, you guys go eat. Bye. The girls smiled and dispersed. Zhang Yuxi simply packed up and walked out of the dance institution with a bag. I have to say, fate is really amazing. As soon as she came out, Lin Feng, who was passing by the door, ran into this beautiful figure. Lin Feng was stunned and stood there. This. Could it be the wife from high school? Lin Feng's eyes widened, but Zhang Yuxi didn't notice Lin Feng. Well, even if she noticed, she wouldn't recognize him. Zhang Yuxi walked straight to her electric donkey, and Lin Feng just stood quietly not far away, watching her silently without blinking. For some reason, Lin Feng's heart beat very fast. The wife from high school. I didn't expect to meet her so soon. Compared to the real world, Zhang Yuxi is a little thinner now, but her height is about the same. Her facial features have not fully developed, and she still has some baby fat. Don't get me wrong, baby fat does not mean a big or fat face. Instead, her face is slightly round, like a peeled egg, delicate and smooth, so cute. The white pantyhose makes Zhang Yuxi's legs straight and slender, very eye-catching, and easy to make people fall. Just as Lin Feng was in a daze, not far away, a few yellow-haired guys who came out of the Coke Internet Cafe walked towards Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi was about to leave on her electric donkey, and suddenly a few yellow-haired guys approached her. "Hi, little sister, let me meet you." One of the yellow-haired guys spoke up. He was wearing ripped jeans and had a gangster temperament. His smile was also very obscene when he spoke. "What for?" Zhang Yuxi was slightly startled, her brows were obviously frowned, and her eyes became alert. This was the first time Zhang Yuxi was approached by a social youth. In the past, at most her classmates would come to her in person to ask for her contact information. "It's okay, I just want to add QQ and get to know you briefly." The yellow-haired guy laughed and asked, "Do you have a boyfriend? If not, how about I be your boyfriend? I'll take you ice skating tonight." The other yellow-haired guys also laughed. At this time, Zhang Yuxi saw these yellow-haired guys, and the expression on her face was extremely scared. Like a little lamb surrounded by wolves, she stared at Zhang Yuxi with hungry, greedy and covetous eyes. Lin Feng reacted instantly and ran to Zhang Yuxi quickly. "Get out! Get out of here!" Lin Feng's face was gloomy and ugly, and he cursed the group of yellow-haired guys. He was really angry. Zhang Yuxi's eyes lit up, but unfortunately she couldn't see Lin Feng's face, she could only see this tall back. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 823, Beating the Yellow Hair. Fuck. The yellow-haired guys were immediately furious when Lin Feng confronted them. They were all hooligans in this area, often bullying others and being lawless. Especially when they saw Lin Feng alone, the yellow-haired guys couldn't help it and wanted to teach Lin Feng a lesson. "Fuck, you are so pretentious, right? Get lost, what does it have to do with me picking up girls? You are so nosy." As soon as the words fell, the yellow-haired guys swarmed up. They punched and kicked Lin Feng. For the scum of society like them, fighting is a common occurrence. They started fighting as soon as they disagreed. However, after taking the marrow-cleansing pills several times, and with the height advantage, it was easy for Lin Feng to deal with a few yellow-haired guys. In less than a moment, he beat the yellow-haired guys who surrounded him and made them run away with their heads in their hands, their noses and faces swollen. However, the other party was outnumbered, and what was even more despicable and insidious was that they were carrying weapons. Lin Feng's arm was still accidentally cut by a knife. "Thank you. Thank you." After the yellow-haired guys were beaten away, Zhang Yuxi was moved and thanked Lin Feng with lingering fear. "You're welcome." Lin Feng grinned and was very happy. He thought it was natural for a man to protect his wife, and it was what he should do. However, Lin Feng didn't want Zhang Yuxi to know that he was her future husband. She was still young and in high school, and it would scare her. "Oh, you're hurt." Zhang Yuxi noticed that there was a small wound on Lin Feng's arm, which was constantly bleeding, and she immediately looked nervous and worried. "Let me see, there's so much blood on your arm." "It's okay, it's just a small injury." Lin Feng raised his arm and looked at it, smiling indifferently. Zhang Yuxi shook her head seriously. No, I'll take you to the hospital. You said you're fine after losing so much blood, it will be more serious later. Get up quickly, I'll take you to the hospital." Zhang Yuxi sat on her electric car, turned her head and said anxiously to Lin Feng, her tone refutable. Lin Feng smiled helplessly, and had to walk over and sit down on the back seat of the battery car. As soon as he sat down, Lin Feng subconsciously wanted to hug Zhang Yuxi's waist with both hands. This has become a subconscious habit of muscles. But thinking of something, Lin Feng's hands froze, and he quickly retracted them before touching Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi is not familiar with him now, and he almost scared her. As for Lin Feng's detailed reaction, Zhang Yuxi naturally didn't know. After telling him to sit tight, she turned the handlebars and took Lin Feng to the hospital. 10 minutes later, the two came to the nearby People's Hospital. Zhang Yuxi took Lin Feng directly to the trauma department, and soon a doctor came. After checking Lin Feng's condition, the doctor immediately disinfected the wound with iodine, and then asked Zhang Yuxi to take Lin Feng to other departments to get tetanus. The doctor also said that it was not serious and told Lin Feng not to worry, but Zhang Yuxi was quite worried. After all, she is still a high school student with no social experience. Facing this situation, it is inevitable to feel a little nervous. Yuxi, why haven't you gone home yet? Haven't you finished your dance practice yet? At this time, Zhang Yuxi received a call from her mother Zhao. That? Something happened. I'll be back soon. Zhang Yuxi did not tell Zhao the truth because she didn't want to worry her parents. Besides, she felt that she could handle this matter by herself. After the call, a nurse appeared behind Zhang Yuxi. She first looked at Lin Feng, and then said to Zhang Yuxi, "Go and pay the medical expenses for your boyfriend, and get a band-aid by the way." After that, she left directly, making Zhang Yuxi very embarrassed and shy. "He is not my boyfriend." Zhang Yuxi wanted to explain, but the nurse had already walked away. This misunderstanding made Zhang Yuxi's delicate face blush instantly. Although many boys in school pursued her, she had never been in a relationship, let alone a boyfriend. Speaking of which, she didn't even know what Lin Feng's name was. "How are you now? It shouldn't hurt anymore, right?" After paying the fee, Zhang Yuxi returned to the department and asked Lin Feng, who was sitting on the stool, with concern. "It's okay, it doesn't hurt anymore." Lin Feng smiled, and noticed Zhang Yuxi's dance costume again, and asked, "Did you just finish dancing?" The blue short gauze skirt and white tights are very eye-catching. Wearing a dance costume in the hospital really doesn't fit in with the environment. But to be honest, my wife's innate noble and cold temperament looks really good in this dance costume. Yes, my mother is learning to dance. She also wants me to learn. Immediately, she also felt Lin Feng's slightly burning gaze. Zhang Yuxi is so familiar with this kind of gaze, full of obvious love. However, unlike others, Lin Feng's eyes are clear and clean, with a bit of gentle pampering, without any ulterior evil desires. Eyes are the easiest way to reflect a person's thoughts. But Zhang Yuxi does not reject Lin Feng's eyes, and even makes her feel very comfortable. "I'm really sorry for getting you hurt today." Zhang Yuxi apologized with some self-blame. She knew that although Lin Feng always looked indifferent, his arm was cut by a knife and there was so much blood, it must be painful. "I told you it's okay, don't take it to heart. Do you think I'm in trouble now?" Lin Feng comforted Zhang Yuxi in return. He thought his wife in high school was so cute. Zhang Yuxi nodded, and also breathed a sigh of relief as if a heavy burden had been lifted. She checked the time on her phone, and then said apologetically, "Well, I'm afraid I have to leave first. My mother called me home for dinner, and I have to go to school for evening self-study in the evening." Lin Feng smiled and said, "Okay, you go back first, I'll sit for a while and then leave." "Okay, I'll give you my contact information. If you have any questions later, please contact me." Zhang Yuxi's expression was sincere and caring, but Lin Feng was a little amused. He thought, it's just a cut on the arm, and now he's in the hospital, what can happen later? "No, just study hard, I really have no problem." "Well, okay." Lin Feng said so. Zhang Yuxi did not insist. But when she was about to leave, Lin Feng suddenly called her. "Wait a minute. How much money do you have on you now?" Instantly, a string of question marks popped up in Zhang Yuxi's mind. Why ask how much money she has? Are they going to blackmail her for compensation? Zhang Yuxi's heartbeat suddenly accelerated, but she immediately thought carefully. They were injured while protecting her, so what if they give her some compensation? Just as Zhang Yuxi was organizing her words, Lin Feng spoke again. "If you have extra money, can you lend me 500 yuan? I will definitely pay you back very soon, I promise." Chapter 824 Go to school to find Zhang Yuxi. After traveling to the parallel world, Lin Feng is now penniless, without even a cell phone, and no place to live. As for finding a way to get some money, it must be easy to get it. After all, he was reborn, and he knew a lot about the future. But to get this money, it takes time to accumulate. 500? Are you sure? Zhang Yuxi suspected that she had heard it wrong. She thought Lin Feng wanted to blackmail her, but she didn't expect that he only wanted 500. Yes, 500 is enough. But I want cash, not transfers. Now Lin Feng doesn't even have a cell phone, so there is no way to receive transfers. Okay, no problem. Zhang Yuxi agreed readily. At this time, Zhang Fuiong has already started a successful business. He earns tens of millions a year, and Zhang Yuxi has become a small rich woman, with pocket money of several thousand a month. You have to know that this is high school. What's the concept of pocket money of several thousand a month? Thank you, I will definitely pay you back soon. Lin Feng vowed. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said nothing. Although Lin Feng said he would pay it back, she knew that it was just a polite remark. The probability of actually paying it back was extremely small. Anyway, she didn't expect Lin Feng to pay it back. Well, then I'm leaving. After Zhang Yuxi left, Lin Feng sat on the stool and was in a daze for a while. He suddenly realized a problem. 500 yuan was not enough. Because he planned to stay in this world for a while longer. After all, the time shuttle only had 3 chances to use it. Now it had been used once by Zhang Yuxi, and he didn't want to waste the second time. And 500 yuan was obviously too tight for him. In this difficult situation, Lin Feng immediately thought of the system. System, are you there? Lin Feng tried to communicate with the system. I'm here, what's wrong? The system's reply made Lin Feng very happy. He thought that after the shuttle, the system should be invalid. Ahem. That, I'm in trouble now, you should know it too. What do you mean, do you have money? Give me some. Lin Feng didn't use the word borrow to the system, that would be too awkward. The system's voice came back immediately. Replying to the host, the system has no money either. The system said it was powerless. Lin Feng was surprised and said, impossible, how could a system as powerful as yours be out of money? System. Seeing that the system did not answer, Lin Feng began to think, then changed his mind and asked the system again. Since the things in the world cannot be brought here, but the things in the system space can always be taken out, right? After all, even you followed me here, which means that the things in the space must have followed me here too. Lin Feng was convinced by his own reasoning. If I remember correctly, Lin Feng had stored a few gold bars in the system space before, just in case of emergency. Now it finally came in handy. Replying to the host, the system space can be used normally. Hearing the voice of the system, Lin Feng smiled. Sure enough, Lin Feng did not think much. He took the gold bars out directly from the system space. Then he went to a nearby gold shop and sold a 200-gram gold bar, and got tens of thousands of yuan in cash directly. After getting the money, Lin Feng went to buy a mobile phone first. After all, in modern times, if you don't have a mobile phone, you can't move at all. Then, he went to deposit the money, and then found a hotel to prepare for one night. The next day, at around 9 o'clock in the morning, Lin Feng woke up from the hotel room. After selling the gold bars last night, Lin Feng went to have dinner, then bought a new mobile phone and 2 sets of clothes, and then booked a hotel to sleep. Now Lin Feng still has tens of thousands of yuan on him. It is enough for him to think about how to live in this world. By the way, I have to return the money to my wife. Lin Feng thought of Zhang Yuxi. He borrowed 500 yuan from her. Now that he has money, he naturally has to return the money to her. Magic City No. 3 Middle School. It was only 9:50 at this time, and Zhang Yuxi naturally hadn't finished school yet. During the break in high school, students will not leave the school unless there is something. Lin Feng waited at the school gate until 11:50. As the bell rang in the campus, students began to come out of the school gate. Many of them were young couples walking side by side, with a hint of shyness in their sweetness. After waiting for a while, Lin Feng immediately noticed Zhang Yuxi walking alone in the crowded crowd. There was no way, beautiful girls were conspicuous, and it was hard not to be noticed easily. Hi. Lin Feng smiled, walked in front of Zhang Yuxi and greeted her. Seeing that it was Lin Feng, Zhang Yuxi's steps suddenly paused, looking extremely surprised. It took 2 seconds for her to react, and she asked Lin Feng in surprise, Did you come to see me on purpose? At the same time, she was very confused in her heart. How did the other party know that she was in this high school? She didn't seem to have told him yesterday. Lin Feng replied, Yes, I came to see you on purpose. Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng's arm. Is your hand better? Does it hurt? It doesn't hurt. Lin Feng shook his head. When they met again, the atmosphere was a little awkward, mainly because Zhang Yuxi didn't know Lin Feng. and Lin Feng was very familiar with Zhang Yuxi. Do you have something to ask me? Zhang Yuxi asked cautiously. Lin Feng smiled and said, nothing, I just want to return the money I borrowed from you yesterday. As he said that, Lin Feng took out 500 yuan bills from his pocket. What? Zhang Yuxi was slightly stunned. She really didn't think that Lin Feng would actually return the money to her. This made her like Lin Feng so much, and of course she was very happy. It's okay, I don't need money now. Zhang Yuxi didn't want to take it, but Lin Feng held her hand firmly and stuffed the money into her hand. Take it, you are still a student, I will definitely return your money. Lin Feng grinned. From Zhang Yuxi's perspective, Lin Feng's smile was sunny and natural, and his teeth were very neat. She suddenly found that Lin Feng was so handsome, much more handsome than the boys in school and around her. Would you like milk tea? Lin Feng's mind moved, and he smiled at Zhang Yuxi and said, the weather is so hot, please have a cup of milk tea. In fact, Zhang Yuxi was still rushing home for lunch. But then he thought, it's okay to go back later, anyway, he doesn't go to school until 2 p.m. Sure, but I'll treat you. Haha, okay. Lin Feng didn't refuse. Being treated to milk tea by his wife from high school was a very subtle feeling. Many students passing by saw the two of them walking towards the milk tea shop and started gossiping. Who is this guy? Isn't he Zhang Yuxi's boyfriend? No way. The guy looks older, is he his brother? What a bullshit brother, the way this guy looks at Zhang Yuxi, it's obvious that they have a special relationship. Could it be that my goddess has a boyfriend? Oh, my heart hurts. Some envious eyes looked at Lin Feng, although they didn't dare to be very sure that Lin Feng must be Zhang Yuxi's boyfriend. But even if they were able to talk to Zhang Yuxi at such a close distance, they were very envious. You know, those boys in school who have a crush on Zhang Yuxi don't even dare to talk to her, let alone confess their love. Chapter 825 Boyfriend? In the milk tea shop. Thank you. Zhang Yuxi took the 2 cups of milk tea handed by the waiter. One of the strawberry milkshakes was handed to Lin Feng. Actually, I'm quite curious. How did you find me? How did you know I was in this high school? Zhang Yuxi took a sip of milk tea, turned her head, and looked at Lin Feng curiously. Lin Feng smiled and made up a story, of course I heard it from other students. Ah. No way, am I that famous? Zhang Yuxi was shocked. While the two were talking, a group of girls wearing whole shoes and tight jeans came towards them. They were all little girls from the technical school next door, with yellow, red, and green hair. They were definitely a group of spirited girls. Zhang Yuxi, right. One of the spirited girls with red hair walked directly to Zhang Yuxi and questioned her, regardless of Lin Feng being next to her. Her attitude was very bad, and she looked arrogant. What's wrong? Zhang Yuxi was stunned. And Lin Feng's face also became serious. I advise you to stay away from my brother. How? He has a girlfriend. Why do you dress up so beautifully every day? Don't you just want all the boys in the school to like you? The red-haired girl sneered and stared at Zhang Yuxi with a contemptuous look. How shameless. That's right. You say you don't want to fall in love, but you dress up beautifully every day to attract bees and butterflies. You are really a white lotus. The other 2 spirited girls immediately echoed their voices. From what they said, it seemed that Zhang Yuxi was wrong to dress beautifully on weekdays. Zhang Yuxi was speechless for a moment, and just when she was about to refute, Lin Feng's face darkened slightly, and he said sternly, you, keep your mouths clean. Bang! Lin Feng slapped the red-haired girl in the face, and she was stunned. You dare to hit me? The red-haired girl recovered and stared at Lin Feng fiercely. Just now, Lin Feng slapped her and made her cry, especially as a spirited girl. She used to bully others, and she had never been taught a lesson by others. What's wrong with hitting you for being rude? Lin Feng stood in front of Zhang Yuxi. At this moment, Zhang Yuxi felt safe. Next time you come to trouble my girlfriend, it won't be as simple as slapping you. Lin Feng warned the group of spirited girls. The spirited girls were all stunned. The man in front of them was actually Zhang Yuxi's boyfriend? They were a group of girls. Seeing that someone's boyfriend was here, they immediately became timid. Although they were very angry, they could only give up and leave. Lin Feng turned around and found that Zhang Yuxi was crying in grievance, and tears kept flowing out of her bright and beautiful eyes. I don't know what I did wrong. Zhang Yuxi was extremely aggrieved. She had never seduced someone else's partner. Is it wrong to wear something a little more beautiful at school? It's okay. It's okay, hug me and don't cry. Lin Feng felt distressed and subconsciously hugged Zhang Yuxi with both hands, causing Zhang Yuxi's delicate body to tremble slightly. Then Zhang Yuxi quickly pushed Lin Feng away like a frightened little rabbit. Lin Feng was not angry, but felt sweet. This shows that Zhang Yuxi was not the kind of casual person in high school. Well, thank you, you helped me out again, Zhang Yuxi said gratefully. The last time she was approached by a group of yellow-haired guys, it was Lin Feng who stepped forward. Lin Feng smiled and reminded, you must protect yourself in the future, especially when I am not with you. Yes, Zhang Yuxi nodded obediently. Then she realized that this sentence sounded a little ambiguous. Next, Zhang Yuxi was about to go home for lunch. But just as she walked to the parked electric donkey, Zhang Yuxi hesitated and stopped, as if she had something on her mind. Lin Feng instantly saw through what Zhang Yuxi was thinking and took the initiative to say to Zhang Yuxi, how about I take you home? This. Zhang Yuxi hesitated for a few seconds. Although she has not experienced it yet, isn't it something that couples do for a boy to take a girl home? But Zhang Yuxi finally agreed, okay, thank you for your help. It's not a bother, it's still early anyway. Lin Feng smiled. He knew that it was the spirited little sister just now who left a shadow in Zhang Yuxi's heart, making her a little afraid to ride back alone. It seems that my wife used to be quite timid. Lin Feng thought to himself. A minute later, on the road, Lin Feng was driving a small electric donkey, and Zhang Yuxi was sitting in the back. Zhang Yuxi's body deliberately kept a distance from Lin Feng. Although she had a good impression of Lin Feng, she was still not such a casual person. When Lin Feng noticed this detail of Zhang Yuxi, the corners of his mouth also curled up slightly, and he didn't say anything, but just rode the bike seriously. Zhang Yuxi's home is very close to the school. A few minutes later, Lin Feng sent Zhang Yuxi to the door of her home. In fact, strictly speaking, it is not in front of the house, because there is still a distance from the front door. The main reason is that Zhang Yuxi is afraid that her parents will accidentally see Lin Feng. So, she dare not let Lin Feng send her too close. I'm leaving, bye. Well, be careful on the road. After waving goodbye to Lin Feng, Zhang Yuxi rode her electric donkey and slowly drove to the door of her house. Originally, she thought that if Lin Feng sent her to the door of her house a few dozen meters away, it would be safe, but it turned out that Zhang Yuxi was still careless. Zhao Lizhen went to her neighbor's house, and coincidentally ran into the two of them as soon as she came out. She almost thought she was dazzled. Oh my god. What did I see? Zhao Lizhen was instantly upset. However, after returning home, she did not question Zhang Yuxi immediately. Instead, she took the lead in telling her husband Zhang Fuiong about this. Oh, Lao Zhang, something big has happened. Zhang Fuiong was lazily leaning on the sofa playing with his mobile phone. Hearing Zhao Lizhen's anxious words, he was also very puzzled. Don't study your broken stock market, something big has happened, Zhao Lizhen said anxiously. Zhang Fuiong was a little confused and immediately stood up from the sofa. What happened? Zhao Lizhen said, I was at the door just now and saw a man sending Yuxi back. That's it? Zhang Fuiong thought it was a big deal and was shocked. But as soon as Zhang Fuiong thought about this, the relaxed smile on his face froze. What did you say? A man just sent Yuxi back. Zhang Fuiong's face changed drastically and his expression became serious. Yes, it's true, I saw it with my own eyes, Zhao Lizhen said, but I didn't see the boy's face clearly, and I don't know if he is Yuxi's friend or classmate. Zhang Fuiong frowned and guessed, could it be that she has a boyfriend? It's very likely, that's what I'm worried about. Zhao Lizhen said worriedly, I don't object to Yuxi dating, but she has to wait until she goes to college, right? Suddenly, Zhang Fuiong frowned and subconsciously asked, isn't he a yellow-haired guy? Zhao Lizhen recalled, it seems not. That's good, that's good. Zhang Fuiong thought, it's good if he's not a yellow-haired guy. What do you mean by that? Even if he's not a yellow-haired guy, it's not okay. Zhao Lizhen glared at Zhang Fuiong and said speechlessly. You're right, but is it possible that we are overthinking it? What if he's just an ordinary classmate or friend? Hearing what Zhang Fuiong said, Zhao Lizhen felt that it made sense and gradually calmed down. Forget it, I'll ask Yuxi. In order to clarify the doubts, Zhao Lizhen and Zhang Fuiong decided to ask Zhang Yuxi. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.